Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your infinite wisdom and providential goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliaments for the welfare of society and the just government of humankind, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in this land. Let your blessing descend upon us here in Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. All which we ask in the name and for the sake of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. I have received the following apologies from the Executive. Honorable CGDN General Retired Dr. Chiwenga, Vice President. Honorable Kenneth Retired Dr. KCD Mohadi, Vice President. Honorable OCZ Mchinguri Kashiri, Minister of Defense. Honorable MN Lovu, Minister of Industry and Commerce. Honorable E. Josiah, Deputy Minister of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture. Honorable C. Sayatwe, Deputy Minister of Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage. Honorable Lina, Deputy Minister of Public Service, Labor and Social Welfare. Honorable Aram Modi, Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce. Honorable Jay Sako, Deputy Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development. Are there any notices of motion? Honorable member, you stood up. What, you decided not to proceed? Yes, right at the back there.
I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker, sir, I was taking water.
That's a joke of the year. You stand up to hold a bottle of water. Clerk, please approach the chair. Sorry about that. There has been some confused pagination. We go straight to questions without notice. The honorable member, according to the list, to start the proceedings is Honorable A. Mujuru.
Afternoon, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Speaker, sir, my questions to the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs. to the Minister of Home Affairs, what is the government policy with regards communities' proximity to police station?
Honorable Speaker, I have a point of order. Honorable Speaker.
You cannot go ahead of the presiding officer. I have not responded to that question. I've got a query.
Much obliged.
Thank you. Honorable Mujuru, can you please repeat your question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My question goes straight to the Minister of Home Affairs. What is the government policy with regards of communities' proximity to the police station? Because how many kilometers should Zimbabwean walk to the nearest police station? I ask because in many constituents, national, not just in Mkadu Park, where I represent, people walk so many kilometers to be safe just to the police station. So what is the policy of the government?
Thank you, Honorable Mujuru. The problem with your question is that you are talking of statistics in terms of distances. Now, that will require some research, and therefore that question is most appropriate as a written question so that the Honorable Minister can give you averages of the location of police stations throughout the country in general.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you very much. The next is Honorable T. Pinduka.
My point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, your point of order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My point of order, Honorable Speaker, with your indulgence and due respect to the office of the Honorable Speaker, if we check with regards to the presence of Honorable Cabinet Ministers and as well with the presence of Honorable Deputy Ministers, the numbers which are here are really not good. Honorable Speaker, I've put this to you again, and I'm sure it's now several times. It's more like
you don't put it to you.
I've put it to the House and to the attention of the Honorable Speaker.
Yes,
Yes.
not to you.
I agree.
Withdraw
I withdraw that wholeheartedly.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So I have put this to the House and to the Chair with regards to the absence of ministers. It looks like we are now more like ticking boxes in terms of delivering our responsibilities. I put it to you, Honorable Speaker, that I think there is need.
Again.
I put it, Honorable Speaker, to the House that there is need to address this problem. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nsami. That's a valid question, a point of order rather. I'll be meeting the head of state and government on Friday, and I'm going to raise the issue accordingly. Honorable Pinduka. Honorable Pinduka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to applaud His Excellency the President, Dr. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, for recognizing the important role the liberation training camps, as witnessed by the Honorable Vice President, Dr. Mohadi's visits to these sites late last year. Honorable Speaker, these were not just liberation training camps, but schools and hospitals. My question is directed to the Honorable Minister for Home Affairs and Cultural Heritage with regards to the government's policy position regarding the recording of oral history from most of our local villages of Zimbabwe as liberation, which had direct combat during the liberation struggle for the purposes of qualifying and accrediting these sites as national significance sites. Thank you.
I don't see the Honorable Minister here. Honorable Mona, you are the acting leader of government business. If you may attempt.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and let me also thank Honorable Pinduka for that very important question. Indeed, where we've got our sons and daughters who actually perished during the liberation struggle, and the Second Republic has taken a deliberate ploy to make sure that we identify in each and every province within the country and across borders. And I'm happy the exercise is ongoing as we speak. Even those that are in the foreign land, Mozambique, such shrines are being documented. And if we talk of Zimbabwe, if those who remember a year ago or so, we were in Gutu at Kamgoma, again, which was also another very emotional assembly area where we witnessed masses of our sons and daughters being crushed by the Rhodesians. But to answer his question, yes, indeed, the policy is there, and it's ongoing in each and every district. If we can identify such places, and not only such places, but those areas where we also had mass graves, if those can be accorded decent burials, these are shrines that are being identified as we speak. But I want to commend and thank the Honorable Member for highlighting that, since we are rewriting our history so that those future generations would know what really transpired during the liberation struggle. Thank you, Honorable Speakers.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I haven't finished speaking, my friend. I know, Honorable Minister, you challenged the Honorable Pinduka to assist in identifying in their areas. I think this should apply to all members of parliament from where they come from, working together with the chiefs and try to identify such places so that government can fulfill its policy of reburial and repatriation. Honorable Pinduka, you've got a supplementary question?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My follow-up question regards to, in line with the decentralization and devolution agenda, with regards to the national museums and monuments of Zimbabwe, if there is a policy in place to ensure that its services and its work are also decentralized to provinces and districts, so that these local history and archives are also kept at local level, so that even the local people can also have access as compared to national archives. Thank you.
I don't want to be preemptive of the acting leader of government business, but I thought the Honorable Minister says get involved and government will fulfill its policy accordingly, right in the spirit of decentralization and devolution. Unless, Honorable Minister, you have understood the question differently. The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. You have put it rightly, and we were guided again when you talked of involving the chiefs and even the honorable members in this August House. So it's a collective mandate that we have. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you.
Supplementary.
Supplementary, which
Supplementary.
Yes, that's Honorable
CHIGUMBU.
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 Oh, CHIGUMBU. You are asking a supplementary question because you don't appear in the list. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My supplementary question, I want to touch on the element of, rightfully preserving the history of our liberation history. More often, Honorable Speaker, we have seen this history being distorted whenever there are fights happening in the ruling party. For instance, we grew up being told that Honorable Mujuru, we grew up being told that Honorable Mujuru in Shona Vakatoniza Kopo, but when she was now being
Honorable members on my right, can the honorable member be heard, please?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for protecting me.
Yeah.
So how then, Honorable Minister, what is the policy to make sure that even the history of those who are still living is protected? We don't want the history to be distorted. What is the government policy to make sure that whatever fights that we might have up tomorrow, it should not distort our liberation war history? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Can you be more specific about the fights? Which ones did you witness? Which ones did you witness?
No, I gave an example of Honorable Teurairopa Mujuru. We grew up being told
Teurai what?
Mujuru.
Yes.
Honorable Speaker. But one day we woke up and being told no, it was a lie. So we want all the minister to address that. Honestly, I grew up being inspired by that lady to say but one day it's not true. So that's what I want the minister to
I will save the leader of government business by saying to you, I think your honorable member's problem is that you do not attend some of these heroes' celebrations. Yes. And the history is documented there without any distinction at all to any member. And if you want to contribute towards embellishing that history, you are free to do so as an honorable member. I'm sure your contribution will be accepted. All right? But don't talk about fights which you have not experienced because you are not in ZANU-PF. Honorable Mavunga. Honorable Mavunga.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my question is directed to the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. On the 5th of April, that is on Sunday, the government issued a press statement about the launch of title deeds validation and securitization, as well as digitization of companies, offices, and also re-registration of companies. In terms of that circular, Mr. Speaker, about 16 law firms were identified as leading the process. My question, therefore, Mr. Speaker, is what is the legal and constitutional basis of restricting property owners to closed list of conveyancers under Statutory Instrument 76 of 2025? And how does this align with their right to choose legal representation of choice, as well as the principles in Section 68 of the Constitution of fair and transparent administrative conduct by government?
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir. And let me also thank my fellow learned colleague, Honourable Mavunga, for citing especially the rights enshrined by the citizenry to exercise their freedom of choice. And given the list that he has highlighted, with your indulgence, Honourable Speaker, say, I would then need to follow up with the relevant minister to see the wisdom that he then came up in identifying those 18 companies before I preempt why he had to choose those 18. But I do concur with the Honourable Member that yes, as the citizenry, they have their right to choose, but maybe the Honourable Minister had his own wisdom pertaining to that limited selection of conveyances. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
A point of clarification or what?
Yes, indeed, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
The process, Mr. Speaker, has already started. So perhaps the Honourable Minister may probably quickly attend to it because there may be some violations of the Constitution in respect of that issue, Mr. Speaker. So my request
What sort of violation?
I have raised the issue that there is no constitutional guideline that was followed in terms of Section 68 of the Constitution relating to administrative conduct, which is transparent and fair, especially to other legal practitioners, Mr. Speaker.
I'm just checking something. When you quote Section 68, subsection 2 says any person whose right, freedom, interest, or legitimate expectation has been adversely affected by administrative conduct has the right to be given promptly and in writing the reasons for the conduct. Now, I hope you are not suggesting that you left out, or you received some complaints from those who believe they've been left out because they had legitimate expectation to be chosen?
Precisely so, Mr. Speaker. All legal practitioners in practice are actually surprised as to how this took place, so they are actually concerned, and that they were also left out. In terms of process, there is nothing that was disclosed as to how it was done.
All right. The Honourable Minister, thank you for that clarification.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Like what I highlighted earlier on, that yes, we would need to find and ascertain the wisdom that the Honorable Minister brought in to select. But however, we are also mandated to the fact that we can also have restrictive bidding, which is also applicable in our legislation, where you can limit your numbers, but I'm not implying that this is the scenario. So I didn't want to preempt why the Honorable Minister had to streamline the conveyances to 18. So with your indulgence, Honorable Speaker, I will take it up with the Honorable Minister so that we can appraise accordingly this august House. Thank you.
So at the next sitting on Wednesday, the answer will be provided accordingly. Honorable Mavunga. Thank you. In that case, there's no question that arises. I proceed to call upon Honorable D. Natiso.
Maita basa mbatu wachigaro. Chokutanga ndoda kutenda bazi rezvokurima nokukurudzira varimi vari kune kusingadai mvura zvakanyanya kuti varime mbeu diki dzakafanana norukweza, munga nemapfunde. Mubvunzo wangu woti urongwa hupi hune basa rezvokurima hwekuti vanenge varima vaya zvakafanana nezvimbeu diki idzodzo vawane mukana wokuenda kuGMB vachindochinjawo vachiwana chibage vasati vakoronyerwa nemakoronyera anozovatorera mbeu dzavo doko idzodzo vachivapa chibage. Vatenda.
Mubvunzo wamangoromera. Honorable Minister.
Ndinotenda vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri mukuru wedare reparliament. Ndotenda zvakare vanoremekedzwa Honorable Latiso nemubvunzo wavasimudza wakakosha. Ichokwadi mutemo wehurumende uripo wakagadzikwa kuti avo vanozikanwa nekurima mbesa idzo dzinoibva nekuti hatina kuwana mvura yakawanda vanokwanisa kuenda zvakare kudura redu renyika vachiwana mukana wekunорipira zvavanenge vainazvo vachiwanawo chibage. Ichokwadi mutemo uripo wakamisikidzwa kare. Saka ndinotenda zvikuru kuti vanenge vakohwa nenzira iyoyo vachida kuzoenda kudura redu renyika munawo mukana wekuti munoenda nezvirimwa zvenyu mozonowaniswa mbesa dzechibage kuti mukwanise kugayisa muchiwana upfu. Ndinotenda.
Supplementary.
Yes, supplementary. Honorable Natiso.
Mubvunzo wangu unoti paida kuti pawanikwe zvikamu zvinenge zvakanyorwa kuti kana ukaenda nechirimwa chakati uchida chibage unowana mabhagedhi akati, kuitira kuti vatinzanisane nezvinoitwa nemakoronyera kuti ukaita mugomo miviri yemhunga tokupa mugomo 1 wechibage. Saka takuza kuti pave nemukana wekuti zvionekwe kuGMB nyatsobuda pachena kuti tinopa zvakati kana waya nezvakati kuitira kuti vanhu vawane simba rokundopiwa kuGMB.
Honorable Leader, Government Business.
Ndinotenda vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare reparliament. Ndinotenda zvakare vanoremekedzwa Honorable Natiso. Ichokwadi ndinofunga mubvunzo wavo unikakahadzika pane maonera vanga vachiita zvichireva zvopamba pane nzvimbo yavari kuona kuti zvavari kupiwa zvinogona kunge zvisiri kuenderana nemwero wavanenge vachitarisira. Saka ndinoti pamwe zvinogona kunge zviri kuitika kune dzimwe nzvimbo dzakasiyana. Kana dziripo tingafara sei kuzozivisa gurukota redu kuti kana vanhu vasvika kuGMB vange vachiwana zvakaringana nezvavanenge vasiya ikoko. Ndinotenda.
Supplementary.
Supplementary. Which side?
This side, Honorable Speaker.
Where are you?
This side.
Oh yes, thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pa mubvunzo wa Honorable Natiso, dambudziko riri kusangana nevarimi nderekuti kana vakohwa izvezvi kune dzimwe nzvimbo hakuna GMB iri kure. Saka varimi kunouya makoronyera atsanangurwa aya ndiwo otakura ofuta bhiri retransport zvekare vachitorera zvirimwa kuvarimi zvakawanda. GMB mubvunzo uri pakuti dai yaisa rugwaro rwuri pachena kureva kuti to publicize kuti machinjiro atinoita zvirimwa ndeaya neaya zviri pamutemo
Publicize kushambaza.
kushambadza honorable speaker.
Yes. Honorable Deputy Minister, sorry, Leader of Government Business.
Tinotenda vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare reparliament. Tinotenda zvakana honorable Mudumi. Ichokwadi pane kunyunyuta kwemakoronyera avasimudza. Ndinotenda zvikuru kuti tikaziva gurukota rinoona nezvekurima neminda yedu vakambotaura kuti vanogona kudzika kuenda kumadistrict kwatinogara kuti vange vachiita urongwa hwekuti GMB iwe ichitakura. Saka ndinotenda zvikuru kuti kana tiine nzvimbo dzakadaro gurukota kuti rizive kuti tione michovha inoenda kunotakura kunenge kwaunganidzwa kuita kuti vanhu vedu vasawane vachibiridzirwa nemakoronyera ataurwa. Saka ndinotenda zvikuru kuti tikaziva nzvimbo idzodzo GMB inoenda ichinotakura chikafu, uyezve ndichayambira kune gurukota rinoona nezvekurima kuti dai paitwa zvinyorwa, zvingave zvinyorwa kana kushambadza mumawiresi edu, zvinova zvinozokwanisa kuitika. Ndinotenda.
Thank you very much. Of Government Business is here now. Mvunzanzi wamwe mawasi akupi. There were only 8 apologies and out of a possible number of 34, 35 ministers, including deputy ministers, avapo. I don't know whether there's something big happening somewhere. Try the other one.
Thank you and good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Committee on State of Occasions is in Mad South preparing for the independence celebrations. So some have gone to Mad South, Mapisa, for there is a committee meeting on state occasions to prepare for independence. So we have someone, and then the Minister of Finance is traveling tonight. He's not around. So, okay, thank you. As well as the Minister of Local Government is not around. He traveled on business.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, but the trend, even outside preparations of the very important independence celebrations, the trend has been a reduced number of ministers attending. And when we check with the Chief Whip, Government Chief Whip, the register also indicates that there's something that I think we'll have to address. Honorable Shamu.
Maskati mbapiwe chigaro. Kuburikidza nemi ndoda kuti ndibvunze gurukota rezvekurima kuti iko mugore rino ratiri patange torima gorosi kuchatevedzwa urongwa hupi
Unechi?
maererano nekurima gorosi?
Magorosi?
Gorosi.
Oh, gorosi. Oh. All right.
Kuti iko urongwa hwacho uchatevedzwa hwakamira sei? Noti tave muna April.
Tatenda?
Mazita.
Leader of Government Business.
Notenda bato chigaro ndichitenda nemubvunzo wabvunzwa wekuti nguva yegorosi yapedyo urongwa hwakamira sei. Bato wechigaro, hurumende kuri zvino iri mushishe kuti ione kuti taita kuti kurimwa kwegorosi kuri kusungirwa ngekuchitanga mwedzi uri kuteera kwaitwa. dambudziko rakaitika rimwe hombe nderekuti marongero atakaita nezvatanga tichida kuita zvabva zvakandwa panze nehondo yakaitika yaita kuti mitengo yemafertilizer inge ichikwira zvakanyanya. Asi zvadaro hurumende yakwanisa kuwana mari yekuti inge ichikwanisa kuti chibage chitengwe nekuti tiwane mafertilizer inoita around 150 million. So the Minister of Agriculture vanofanirwa kunge vachiwana svondo rino kuti vange vachiita kuti zvese zvinodiwa zvinge zvichiwanikwa, mafertilizer nembeu dzacho, nekuona kuti takwanisawo futi kubva tatenga chibage mwaka uno, nekuti hatisi kuziva kuti zvichamira sei maringe nehondo iri kuitika kuti tinenge takamira sei. Saka ndo urongwa huri kuitwa, mari yakawanikwa yekuti zvinge zvichiitwa. Saka zvinosungirwa kunge zvichinge zvamira zvakanaka apo patinotanga mwaka wekurima gorosi. Ndinotenda mubato wechigara.
Tenda. I don't see any supplementary question.
On a point of order, Mr. Speaker, sir.
On a point of order, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The leader of government
is it on what the Honorable Minister has just replied to?
I just wanted to highlight that the leader of government business is now here in respect of the question that I...
Pardon?
The Minister of Justice is now here in respect of the question that I had asked, which had been deferred by Honorable Mona.
Oh.
So maybe he may attend to it rather than wait for probably next week, Mr. Speaker.
Oh, I see. Would you like to repeat the question so that the Honorable Leader of Government Business can...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the 5th of April 2026, the government of Zimbabwe issued a press statement about the launch of the title deeds validation and securitization process, as well as digitization of companies' offices and the companies' re-registration. The government then published a list of 16 law firms appointed to participate in the pilot program. My question then, Mr. Speaker, is what is the legal and constitutional basis of restricting property owners to a closed list of conveyancers? And how does this align with their right to choose legal representation of their choice, as well as compliance with Section 68 of the Constitution regarding fair, transparent administrative conduct by government?
Very much. That question, Honorable Leader of Government Business, had been deferred because of your unavailability. Perhaps you can now answer it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I took note of the notice. I saw it on Sunday. The registrar had issued that without consultation, and it has since been withdrawn because it was not authorized. I thank
you. The Honorable Mavunga is satisfied, so I believe the Honorable Minister of Justice will proceed with further investigation on the matter. Thank you. Honorable Mozeri. Honorable Mozeri.
Maita basa mubati wechigaro nekundipo mukana iwoyu. Mvunzo wangu wakanangana na Minister of Agriculture kuti urongwa hupi une hurumende tichibva mukutenda kuti ivhu redu zhinji rako vanhu vatema, asi pakuti vanotora matitle deeds vari kukumbirwa kuti vabhadhare mari muma-US dollar. Hatisi here taakudzorera zvatakawana kubva patakarwira hondo mumashure. Saka ndaida kuziva kuti urongwa hupi hunoshandiswa pakubhadhara kuti munhu atore matitle deeds. Tiri kushandisa mari yedu here yezigi kana kuti US dollar? Mazvita.
Minister of Agriculture, I can't see. Minister of Justice and Leader of Government Business.
ndinotenda mubati wechigaro. Mubati wechigaro, kana kuna ane mari yakawanda yekuti anobhadhara neyedu tozvifarira zvakanyanya, anoenda kana arambirwa ozouya achiti akarambirwa nani, tinotenda.
I do not see any supplementary question. I proceed with Honorable Mkomberi. Honorable Mkomberi.
Thank you,
Yes,
Honorable
please,
Speaker.
Please proceed.
My question is directed to the Minister of Energy and Power Development, and it emanates from the realization of the efforts that the government is currently undertaking in digitalization of schools through provision of computers and Starlink for internet connectivity. So the question intends to inquire on the government's policy stance to speed up the electrification of rural primary and secondary schools with the thrust to keep pace with the drive to expand ICT infrastructure and digital learning opportunities in such schools to leave no one and no place behind in the quest to achieve Vision 2030 macroeconomic goals. Thank you.
Initially, you said your question is directed to the Minister of Home. Minister of
Energy.
Of Energy to deal with ICT.
So the question, Honorable Speaker, is to say, through the Ministry of ICT and the primary secondary education, there is provision of computers.
But why don't you ask the Honorable Minister responsible for ICT?
Also, my question is...
Why through the Minister of ICT?
So the question is on electrification, Honorable Speaker.
On what?
On electrification of rural schools to support ICT.
My question is, why do you ask through the Minister of ICT?
Okay, I stand guided, Honorable Speaker.
Please reframe your question.
So, all right, thank you, Honorable Speaker. So my question is directed to the Ministry of ICT. In terms of the electrification of rural primary and secondary schools,
Order, can the Honorable Member be heard, please? Yeah,
so Honorable Speaker said, the question was on electrification, not on ICT. So that's why initially I directed it to the Ministry of Energy, which does the electrification, so as to keep pace with the thrust that the Ministry of ICT and primary secondary education has in terms of supporting ICT learning through provision of Starlinks and those ICT gadgets. So for them to be usable, there is need for power, for electricity. So the question is, how is the Ministry of Energy also keeping pace with that drive so as to make electricity available in rural schools?
Understood. Excellent. Understood now. Is the Minister of Energy in? The Honorable, I think he's struggled, isn't he? Is that true? Honorable Leader of Government Business, please take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir. Mr. Speaker, actually it's the opposite. The Minister of Energy has done a lot in terms of rural electrification. And I think the Minister is actually indicated even in cabinet that he wants to bring a compendium that shows the work that has been done in terms of rural electrification. The Minister of Energy is actually way ahead of the Minister of ICT in terms of electrification. And what I will do, Mr. Speaker, for honorable members is to request the Minister to bring that compendium that shows the kind of work that has been done by the Minister of Energy in terms of the work that RIA is doing, besides the work that has also been done by way of solar energy in some of the schools. So we still have a lot of schools that have been electrified that do not have even Starlink. And this is statistical, and I believe the Minister of Energy will be very happy to bring the statistics to show the extent that we have gone in terms of rural electrification to our schools and our clinics. I submit, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Supplementary.
Supplementary does not arise because the leader of government business says the House needs to be informed in terms of energy penetration throughout the country. So the Minister of Energy will present that statement, and then you can ask questions for clarification once the presentation has been done. Agreed? Thank you. Honorable Chiungwe. Honorable Chiungwe.
Maita mbata chigaro. Mfunzo wangu noenda ku Minister of Transport na Minister of Transport. Turi kuona mabasa vari kuita migwagwa yedu, ndingati migwagwa ye-dust road netara zvese vari kugadzira zvakanaka chaizvo. Mfunzo wangu woti iwo urongwa hupi hwokuti hurumende ive nema-depots pama-district anenge ane equipment yekumaintaina migwagwa yachona. Tatenda.
Yes, Honorable Minister of Transport and Infrastructural Development.
Ndinotenda vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri weparliament. Ndotenda zve vanoremekedzwa Honorable Hungwe vasimudza mubvunzo wakakosha vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare reparliament. Tinoziva kuti kuvaka mugwagwa nekuchengetedza zvinhu zvakakosha, uyezve migwagwa ikasachengetedzwa inokasika kuparara. Saka naizvozvo takamutsiridza pachirungu atinoti ma-maintenance units, kunova ndoo kwaigara vanhu vamaiona ve-Department of Roads vachiti panenge pangochereka ungava mugwagwa, panenge pakura uswa vomhanya kunocheka. Saka iko zvino mumwaka wapfuura takamisikidza maprovince oga oga kuti kunge kuine chikwata chinobva kuministry chinenge chiine zvikwanisiro zvekuti kana migwagwa yedu yashata vanokasika kumhanya. Izvi tiri kuenda nazvo kusvika tasvika kuma-districts. Saka ndinofara zvikuru kuti kune mizinda yedu yanga isashande yeMinistry of Transport muchaona tichiuya tichimutsuridza kuti titange kushandisa nzvimbo idzodzo kuitira kuti tichengetedze mugwagwa wedu. Saka ndinotenda kuti vasumudza mubvunzo uyu kuti tibva tazivisa ruzhinji rweZimbabwe kuti chokwadi muchawana taakuuya kunzvimbo dzatinogara kuma-districts kwedu, kungave kumaruwa kana kuri muno mumaguta, muchawana nzvimbo dzedu dzaizikanwa dziri dzeMinistry of Transport dzaakushanda patsva kuitira kuti tikwanise kugadzira mugwagwa yedu. Asi patinoita kuuya ipapo tichashanda nevana vanenge vachibva munharaunda iyoyo, ndo vatichaisa pachirongwa chekufafundisa, kungave kunama makomba, kungave kucheka uswa, kuitira kuti vange vari pamwe chete pakubata nekuchengetedza zvivakwa zvedu. Ndinotenda.
Supplementary. Tinotenda mubvunzo wangu wokusupplementary noti tiri wokuwedzeredza, sorry, totarisira kuti zvingava zvaakuonekera rini takatarisira situation chimiro chirimo mumigwagwa yedu pari zvino.
The Honorable Minister.
Ndinotenda zvakare vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare reparliament. Ndotenda vanoremekedzwa Honorable Hungwe nemubvunzo wavo kupamhidzira. Tinoziva kuti tikatarisa nyika yedu, angave makanzuro edu emumaguta nemakanzuro edu ekumaruwa, tinoziva kuti tikasanganisa anosvika kuma-92. Saka chirongwa chatinacho ndechekutanga kuti iko zvino muprovince yoga yoga tichatanga kutenga zvingave zvinochera mugwagwa, zvingave zvinocheka uswa, pachirungu ndo inenge iri plant zvoreva izvo kuti province yoga yoga kutaura kwandiri kuita tiri mubishi rekutsvaga kuti tiunganidze kuitira kuti district rinenge rawana richida kuti zvishandiswe vanoenda vachinopiwa naprovincial road engineer wedu. Saka kutaura kwandiri kuita iko zvino chirongwa chakatomisikidzwa. Aya ndanchiti maintenance units yedu emaprovince atovako kudhara vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri weparliament. Taatoonawo kudzika kwataakuita kumadistricts ndo zvatiri kutoita mumwaka uno, asi ndinotenda kuti homwe iyoyo yakamisikidzwa kuzinara. Saka vatinoshanda navo vari mudare rino muchaona tichiuya kungave kumakanzuru kwenyu kwamunoshanda navo pamune muchidanwa kumafull council meetings muchaona kuti zvimwe zvine zvisumudzwa pamune muchikurukura kuti taakutenga mishina yekuti tivandudze migwagwa yedu. Ndinotenda.
Supplementary, yes.
Honorable Chuma,
yes.
Maita basa mbato wechigaro. Kutenda minister nemindro yavapa. Mbato wechigaro. Mvunzo wangu okuwedzera. Ontisezo minister vakapa simba kuma provincial roads engineer ari kuma provinces ese. Urongwa hupi hwavanawo hwokuti vanhu havange vachishanda zvakafanana. Mr. Speaker, ukabva kuHwange uchipinda Mugokwe unotoona kuti kono wapinda Mugokwe, wobuda Mugokwe uchipinda muAsh West unoona kuti wava muAsh West nekuda kwokusiyana kwemigwagwa nekumaintenewa kana kugadziriswa kwainoitwa nevana provincial roads engineer. Urongwa hupi hwavanawo kuti vanhu ava vashande zvakafanana nzvimbo dzese kana zvingava zvikwanisiro zvifanane kuitira kuti nyika yose yeZimbabwe inge yakafanana panyaya dzemigwagwa. Ndinotenda.
Mvunzo wenyu wakare munenge mafambira nyika yese mutarisa mugwagwa kuti muone kuti kune tsaungo. Honorable Minister, chimboezai.
Ndinotenda vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare rino reparliament. Ndinotenda zvakare vanoremekedzwa Honorable Chuma. Chandafara ndechekuti pavanenge vachienda kuconstituents kwavo vanopfuura vanotanga vari muguta reHarare vopinda muAsh West vobva vangoti vakutopinda mavo muMidlands. Saka ndofunga zvavari kutaura izvi pamwe pacho vanogandurana nebridge neZambuko. Saka ndinotenda kuti vazotaura kuti nyika yose. Ndingafare sei vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare rino reparliament kuti panomisikidzwa budget mukatipo bandiko redu reministry mari yekuti tigadzire nyika yese. Ndingafare zvikuru nekuti ndimi varidzi vehomwe vanoti pai panouya budget munova matimisikidza mari yekuti tigadzire nyika yose. Asi izvi hatigare pasi nekuti tikamirira kuti tipihwe mari mudare rino muchaona kuti tinotora mwaka yakareba tichivandudza mugwagwa yedu. Asi ndinotenda kuti isu nezvamunotirovedzera vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare reparliament tinoramba tichifunga kunze kwebox kuti tivandudze migwagwa yedu. Saka ndinotenda kuti kufanana kwemigwagwa nemainjiniya edu vanodzidziswa zvakafanana uyezve kana dzaa mari sekuya kwadzine zichiita injiniya wega wega anenge aine chikamu chake. Asi chandinotenda ndechekuti pamusoro paizvozvo tichashanda nemaprivate companies kuti tivandudze nzvimbo dzedu. Saka ndinotenda kuti province yoga yoga tine migwagwa yatinoti tinotsvaga ukama nevanoda kushanda nesu tichivandudza mugwagwa. Saka muchaona kuti zvichaenda zvichisiyana, asi hatisarudze kuti province iyi inofanira kunge ichifarirwa kupfuura imwe province. Itsika yedu yekuti tinofanira kufananidza tichifamba mumuono wapresident wekuti hakuna nzvimbo kana dunhu rinofanira kunge richisara kumashure. Ndinotenda.
Supplementary.
Thank you. Ndatenda.
Honorable
Madzivanyika. Ndatenda mubato wechigaro. Mubvunzo wangu wekuwedzera mubato wechigaro gurukota rezve kufamba ndokuti urongwa hwehurumende here gurukota Mr. Speaker say urongwa hwehurumende here kuti mari dzinobva kubandiko rezinara mumaguta dzishandiswe bedzi kuisa ivhu mimigwagwa yedu inenge yakakuvara. Ndatenda Mr. Speaker sir.
Honorable Minister.
Ndinotenda vanoremekedzwa mutungamiri wedare rino reparliament. Ndinotenda zvakare vanoremekedzwa honorable Madzivanyika. Hakuna mutemo wehurumende wekuti migwagwa inoyadirwa mavhu vanhu voenda. Zvinoitika pakugadzira mugwagwa, nofunga ndingatende zvikuru ndikati nebandiko renyu vanoremekedzwa rekomiti yenyu yamakamisikidza, tinowanzoshambadza kuti panenge pachigadzirwa mugwagwa angave makurukota emba ino akasununguka kuti vaone kuti migwagwa inovandudzwa sei. Asi dzimwe dzenguva pavanoona paiswa angava mavhu, vanotanga vambotsindirana nemavhu, asi handiwo kuti mugwagwa wapera. Saka kwavanobva kuguta rekwekwe uko, kana vari kungosiya ari mavhu chete, ndingafare sei kuti isu vatiudze migwagwa iyoyo, tobvunza kanzuro kuti kosei musiri kupedzisa kuvandudza migwagwa iyoyo. Ndinotenda mazvita.
Supplementary right at the back, I think. Honorable Mangondo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sir. I would like to follow up on the issue that the Minister has responded to regarding the maintenance units. And my question to the Minister is to do with the configuration of the roads authorities. We have too many road authorities. We have 4 roads authorities, which makes it difficult to have standardization and take account of economies of scale. And it's also difficult for councils, especially road district councils, to employ some of the qualified engineers. So there's a uniformity in terms of maintenance, in terms of the standards of roads. So is the Minister thinking at possibly remodeling this architecture or reducing the road authorities that we have in the country? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And let me also thank Honorable Noah Mangondo for that very important question, which is also as a result of statutes. As you know, the Roads Act 1318, which actually came from this very august house, gave birth, especially section 4 and 5, to the road authorities, which are 4. And when you talk of these 4, we are talking of the Department of Roads, RIDA, Road District Councils, and local authorities. And surely the question that he has posed, it will make sense that if we then configure. But currently the statutes have actually administered these 4 road authorities. And what is of paramount importance, again with the advent of ZINARA, which access the road fund, we would then be channeling accordingly to road authorities, so that if it's a road council, it will be funded adequately, and also a local authority will do the same. So going forward, this is what we'll be doing, Honorable Speaker, say that as we superintend from the Minister of Transport, we'll make sure that disbursements are done to road authorities, and acquittals as well are also done by road authorities, because the problem is of acquittals. Where funds are disbursed to a road authority, then they don't acquit. And in that case, they won't be eligible to another funding. So it is also my humble plea again to say whenever funds are disbursed, road authorities are supposed to acquit so that they tap into the new funding. But I really appreciate his concerns that yes, especially from our road councils, where at times they lack expertise, they can also rely on our Department of Roads, which also superintends over those provinces. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir.
Thank you. I don't see any further supplementary question. Honorable Prince Dube. Honorable Prince Dube.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, sir. My question is directed to the Minister of Transport, Honorable Mona. Would the Minister articulate or clarify government policy regarding the replacement of lost vehicle registration numbers, especially in cases where a vehicle owner wishes to retain the same registration number and perhaps how the policy also applies in second vehicle ownership if the owner also wants to retain the same vehicle registration number should he or she buys the second vehicle. Thank you very much.
Minister of Transport.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and let me also thank my brother, Honorable Dube, for that very important question. Indeed, we have a provision in the ministry, Honorable Speaker, where you can also personalize your number plates so that you can carry it from one vehicle to the other. What we'll be doing through the through the Department of Registration, which is known as CVR, we will be having details of the engines and chassis being replaced so that we'll carry that same number. But contrary to ordinary numbers where they've got sequences, if you lose your registration number, you need to do a police report so that will justify why you need the duplication. So you have to report and get a police report, and we verify whether that is in place so that we run another number, but we don't duplicate the already existing number. But when you want personalized number plates, you can do that. It's unfortunate that they are on a steep side when it comes to pricing, but if you have the funds and you are amenable to that, you can still go the route of personalizing your number plates. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Supplementary?
Yes, supplementary, Honorable Speaker, I'm actually not content with the response from the Honorable Minister, because at some point, I think we are honorable members here who sit here.
Order. You have no right to say you are not satisfied with the response. Your right is to ask a supplementary question in order to get the response you would think you'll be satisfied with. So withdraw that statement.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I stand guided, and please condone me.
Pardon?
I withdraw.
Yes, withdraw, yes. Please proceed.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. I wanted to say to the Honorable Minister that perhaps if he can clarify, because at some point I think we read, perhaps it was an essay that was clarifying that in order to avoid expenses in terms of perhaps obtaining a new number plate, which will also involve perhaps also replacing the book of the vehicle, that actually comes with a lot of cost. There is an option of also perhaps retaining the same number plate with the same book and then reducing the cost. So if perhaps the minister would explain if that provision is there, or it is actually perhaps a question of coming with the new on everything. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Once again to thank my brother, Honorable Due, and to concur with his position that, yes, there is a position. I talked about Central Vehicle Registry, which is the domain. They are actually the custodians of vehicle registration. So the question that he has then posed, which actually differs from the initial he was talking about replacing the number that could have been lost or not. But in terms of maintaining your number, if you don't lose it, contrary to years back where we were saying if you sell your car, you have to change the registration number. But now, you can only change the vehicle registration book and maintain the number. We are talking of the number. If you don't lose your number, you can carry it over from one seller, one buyer to another buyer, keeping the same number. What will only be changing is the registration book. This is what we are now doing, so as to mitigate, again, the issues of reprinting different number plates. So indeed, the Honorable Speaker said, now if you don't lose your number plate, if you sell your car, the next buyer can still retain that. But if that buyer doesn't want to keep that number plate, then there is at liberty to also apply for a new registration number, but it will be at a cost. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I was a bit mesmerized that twice you called Honorable Dube your brother. Are the mourners Dubes as well? Are they?
They are spiritual brothers.
I'm educated. I don't see any further supplementary question. I call upon Honorable Mtokonyi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question goes to the Ministry of Women's Affairs, Small to Medium Enterprises and Community Development. Mr. Speaker, in line with the national trajectory of attaining an upper middle income society, and in line with the rural industrialization agenda, what is the ministry doing to industrialize the rural women so that they also contribute to the rural economies? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Did you say to industrialize women?
Mr. Speaker, I said, what is the ministry doing to improve the rural industrialization agenda in paying particular attention to the rural women? Thank you.
It's understood now. The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I would like to thank Honorable Mtokonyi for that very important question. Rural industrialization is the policy of our Second Republic. This ministry is in charge of women affairs, community development, and also SMEs development. It is clear from the government's policy that we need to make sure that all Zimbabweans are supported wherever they are to participate actively in the economic development of their country, in their locality. And this is work which is being done by my ministry and other ministries. It's a whole government approach. As to what the government is doing and the ministry is doing, I would just like to tell this august house that there's a lot of work which is being done to transform the lives of our people from the rural area all the way to the top. When the government introduces village business units, that's precisely making sure that you transform the lives of our people. When the government builds roads to make sure that our rural people, whatever they are producing, they can take it to the market, that is transforming their lives. When the government builds dams to make sure that there is irrigation, when the government, there's presidential borehole drilling happening in the rural areas, that is precisely to transform the lives of our people, more so our women. As we are very clear, especially with the climate change, that affects disproportionately our women and girls. As a ministry, we do have structures from national level, provincial level, district level, all the way to the 1,935 wards in this country. And the job is to make sure that no one and no place will be left behind. And what we're doing is we are encouraging all our women, especially in the rural areas, to come together as a consortium, start a business of their own interest. Our job is to make sure that our officers who are at ward level can actually train these people to realize their dream of starting a livelihood skill. We are also, through the bank, the two banks which the government owns, which are under my watch, that is the Women Microfinance Bank and the Smedco Bank. We are making sure we give them loans with non-collateral loans and also some with concessionary interest rates to make sure that they start some business. And this is why, Honorable Speaker said, when you drive whichever direction you take in this country, the 10 provinces, you can actually see the lives of our women doing well. The policies of agriculture from Vudza has actually empowered our rural people. Something which we never dreamt about in the past. Our president, during this Second Republic, has introduced presidential inputs to make sure that our rural people can actually grow, not just for their own consumption, but for also to sell so that they can actually buy solars.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
The question.
Where's the
yes, point of order,
Honorable CHIGUMBU?
Yes, Honorable Speaker, it seems the Honorable Minister, whenever she comes, it seems she has got sponsored questions. She's always taking long to respond. It seems like it's a rehearsed response. I think it's not the first time. It's not the first time. They must be short and precise, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Order. Order. Honorable CHIGUMBU, I hope you don't have a sponsored point of order. Honorable Minister, you are winding up.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I just want to assure Honorable CHIGUMBU that I'm answering the question which I have been given. What is that the ministry is doing? And I can't separate what the ministry is doing and what the whole of government approach is doing. Because fragmented efforts will not give us the right results which we want. And what I'm saying is what we are doing as a government and what my ministry is doing. So if you allow me to just finish without answering.
Please wind up.
The women, our rural women, we support them in many respects, bringing women together for savings cooperatives, forming these cooperatives, making sure we register these people. We have seen transformation of our women's lives in the rural areas from these savings cooperatives. We have seen women who are being educated, who are now able to use their phones to do their banking. They don't need to leave their rural areas to go to growth points to do banking. We continue to give that business entrepreneurial skills that is about record keeping so that whatever they start will be sustainable. We are also making sure Honorable Speaker, this was an open-ended question, but I think at this point, Honorable Speaker, I just want to say there's a lot which is happening, just instilling confidence, making sure all the policies and strategies of government which have been put in place for gender equality and women empowerment are unpacked, making sure that the rural women know their rights, making sure that gender-based violence is dealt with. So these are some of the issues which we are doing to strengthening the lives of our women in the rural areas. I so submit.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary. You give first preference to the original questioner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Mtokoni has stood. Just to comment that, yes, an open question invites an open answer. Yes, the question was rather too broad. Yes. Honorable Mtokonyi, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the Honorable Minister for responding to that. But, however, Mr. Speaker, in terms of access finance, I think there is a bit of a challenge, particularly to the raw women. They don't seem to get these funds. A lot of applications have been done, but to the best of our knowledge, they haven't got much responses, particularly in getting funds from the Empower Bank or a Women's Bank. May the Minister also respond to that? What key mechanisms can be put in place to ensure that the grassroots women at district levels, to what levels, if they apply for the funds, they can access the funds? Thank you.
Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank Honorable Mtokonyi for that supplementary question. I think the issue which he raised is of great importance as we do gender equality and women empowerment. The issues of making sure that our women have access to finance. And true, I agree, that is the elephant in the room. Access to finance is not a problem just to the women in the rural areas, but it is a problem for most businesses in our country, including the SMEs. And we all know that one of the biggest challenges why Zimbabwe has got serious problems of our business people have serious problems of accessing funds is because Zimbabwe was put under illegal sanctions. And what we have done, we have not sat back and cried because Zimbabwe is under sanctions, because all international financial institutions were withholding funds to our country. We all know that. It's not a question of... but what we have done is we have not sat back and cried over sanctions, but as a country we have done very well in terms of making sure not only our two banks, which are Women Microfinance Bank and SMEDCO, are helping SMEs. SMEs in this country, they are beginning to access funding from commercial banks because commercial banks have realized that that's where the money is. To just remind this honorable, the August House, the fact that 60% of more than 50 billion of the GDP of this country is coming from micro, small and medium enterprises. That shows that a lot of financial institutions out there, even outside, are beginning to see that it makes sense to invest in micro, small and medium enterprises. We have also, out of the interest of making sure that all those people who are raring to go to do something, because our president's mantra is Nika ino wakwa neve nevayo, they are given some kind of a startup. The Microfinance Bank, a very progressive thing which this government has done to come up with the Women Microfinance Bank, has not, unfortunately, and it is you, members of parliament, who continue to lobby for more funding for that bank. It has never been adequately financed. As you are all aware, it needs 5 million, and that 5 million has never been availed. But with that little money which they have got, they have managed to help. And you'll be amazed to see that there are women in the rural areas, especially where they're talking about, who have been given loans as little as $1,000, and that has transformed the whole family, leading to an empowered community. So we continue. SMEDCO has been retooling a lot of our SMEs, maybe mostly in growth points and in urban areas. If you go today to Gazaland, you will see that SMEDCO, as the bank of government, it has built infrastructure for clusters, leather clusters, people who are in manufacturing. They are actually being provided with decent workspace. When we go to the rural areas also, we have also seen the Reserve Bank of this country. They have come up with a financial strategy 1 and strategy 2 to make sure that we help even those in the rural areas by coming up with a collateral registry where mombe dzako, mbudzi dzako dzinogona kuti upuwe mari. So we continue to come up with all these strategies which are financial includes everyone, very inclusive of everyone, because we understand that if we leave those women in the rural areas will not be able to reach Vision 2030, which is the upper middle income society for everyone in this country. I so submit you.
Supplementary.
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 Supplementary. Yes, the honorable member in between here.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, given that beneficiation and value addition are central to our industrialization strategy, my follow-up question, therefore, to the Honorable Minister is, what deliberate policies are in place to ensure rural women are prioritized in these value chains so that instead of supplying raw materials, raw produce at the lowest rung, they are integrated into processing, packaging and distributing industries that guarantee them equitable returns and ownership within the industrial economy. I so submit.
The Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I want to thank Honorable Murombedzi for that very interesting and very good supplementary question. Value addition and beneficiation is the only way to make sure that our SMEs, our women in the rural areas, they cannot be shortchanged, they can keep more money in their pockets. And the policies which we have is to make sure that we actually build processing plants in the areas of location, in their localities. For example, I'll give you to Mutoko, because there's a lot of tomatoes, and most of the time those tomatoes were actually going to rot. Post-harvest losses were just too high. And so as a government, a processing plant has been put there where tomatoes can actually be processed, and that has reduced post-harvest losses, and that has also made...
Honorable Minister, please address the chair.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Yes.
That has reduced post-harvest losses, and that has also added more money in transforming the rural people's life. I also want to give another example in Hauna. We discovered that this is a place where there are more than 2,000 banana farmers. And most of the time, these bananas they were not able to sell them, they were rotting. Again, most of the time they had to travel long distance to come to Harare on top of big trucks, and many accidents were happening. So what we have done as a ministry and as government is to go straight to Hauna and build this processing plant where the bananas are now being value added to banana flour, banana chips, and many other horticultural fruits which are happening in that area can be processed by the same processing plant. And this is happening throughout the country because we realize our women are working so hard all the way to the grassroots, and it's important to go where the people are than to expect them to carry their produce far away in the urban areas. I thank you.
Supplementary.
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 Honorable Karimi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I would like also to thank the Honorable Minister for the responses. And my supplementary question, Mr. Speaker, is in most rural areas, we have got women, Mr. Speaker, who are into different marketing in terms of their products. I don't want to cite any area because it will need some further clarification. But let me go to say these rural women, Mr. Speaker, are also producing income to their families. But the minister has highlighted on the issue of the value addition, Mr. Speaker. Then my follow-up question would be, Honorable Minister, what is the ministry doing in terms of marketing? Because we have got other women who are not into like my banana and the like, but who are into my baskets and any other issues. How are you helping these women in terms of their market? Because they will end up having a lot in their homesteads, but they are failing to get market. I thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank Honorable Karenyi for that very important supplementary question. And the issue she raised is not just about, we are not only concerned about those who are in agriculture, but we are talking here about women in whatever economic activity they are carrying out in their localities, the importance of supporting them. Earlier on I said we support them with business entrepreneurial skills, we support them with access to finance, we support them also to market access. Because if you promote more production of whatever you may call baskets or other things, it's important that those baskets are monetized, and that can only happen if you help those people find markets for whatever product they're doing. So in this particular case, the ministry, when it comes to artifacts, you know, like the binga baskets and many different baskets, artifacts which are being made around the country, within my ministry there's a parastatal which is called National Handicraft Center, which we have constituted fully in terms of a board and of management, and also in terms of mobility, cars, to make sure what National Handicraft Center does is moving around the whole country, find out what is that our women and our people in the rural areas are making, and making sure that we all help them to enhance the quality of their products. Binga baskets and many other artifacts became very, very popular. By the way, my ministry did send 53 MSMEs to Osaka, Japan 2025, the expo. And they did extremely well because they were very popular among the visitors who came to Osaka Expo 2025. And that made our women out there, our youth out there come back with some money. We continue to make sure that we find markets for them. We also enhance them and strengthen them and make sure that their product quality is good. It can be marketable anywhere in the world. So we continue to do this with whatever people are doing in their localities. We are there to promote them. Even the savings and cooperatives, that is another thing which is registered within my ministry. Those women who come together, put their monies together throughout the year, end of the year, they end up giving each other cars or stands, whatever. Again, this is within my ministry. Cooperatives which are in housing, they are also registered within my ministry. So these are some of the things which we do to strengthen and empower women all over the country.
Supplementary. New question. We've had enough supplementary questions. That one was the third one. New question, Honorable Mangondo.
Ndinotenda mubati wechigaro. Mubvunzo wangu wakanangana nebazi rinoona nezve kugadzirwa kwemagetsi nekuya endesa kunzvimbo dzakasiyana siyana. Dambudziko ratinaro ndere kugadzirwa kana magetsi achinge afa. Saka mubvunzo uri pekuti zvii zvirikuitwa nehurumende nebazi rehurumende kuti magetsi akasike kugadzirwa nenguva iri nani, kunyanyisisa kana zvisinei nekushomeka kwemagetsi, zvisinei nekunaya kwemvura, asi magetsi ofa opedza nguva yakareba, sometimes mwedzi, mamwe makore asagadzirwa. Tine nzvimbo dzakadaro mazvita.
Thank you, Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Ndotenda mubati wechigaro. Mubati wechigaro, mubvunzo wabvunzwa uyo hausiwepo resu. Unonzi muchirungu operational, kuti koivo vari kumbosevenza vari kuita sei pane pafa zvumu. Saka vakanyora vachiratidza kuti vachipa maexamples. Ndofunga minista vanogona kuzoenda kune vezesa kunoti kove maintenance yenyu vari kumbozvifambisa sei, vanhu vachema kuti muri kunonoka kuresponda. Ndinotenda mubati wechigaro.
Thank you.
Supplementary.
Honorable Mangondo, I think the minister has responded on how you can address the issue. Is there anything that you would like to ask?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. New question, Honorable Tobayo. New question, Honorable Peugeot.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. My question is directed to the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education. The rise or the mushrooming of emerging private schools in most urban areas of Zimbabwe seems to create an elite tier of education that not all citizens can afford, hence sparking debate over equal access to quality education. In light of our mantra of leaving no one behind, what measures is the government putting in place to ensure equal access to quality education in both private and public schools of Zimbabwe?
Thank you, Honorable Minister of Education.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. I would like to thank Honorable Peugeot for the question, where she wants to know government policy regarding equal access to education for everyone. Madam Speaker, ma'am, it is government policy to ensure that we provide quality, equitable, inclusive, and relevant education for every child. That is why we are keen to build as many schools as possible. The fact that there's been a proliferation of several schools in urban areas and rural areas, it's an advantage to the government. As long as the schools are registered, that is what we want. What we do not want are illegal schools, schools that we may not have access to because they don't exist, but in actual fact, they are just schools that have established without following necessary procedures as stipulated by our laws. And in order to provide equal access for every child, it is, according to the Constitution, Section 75 speaks to every child in Zimbabwe. Child and even adults, they have access to education. And we are providing there are several interventions that we are putting in place to provide equal access to every child. That is why we are distributing computers to rural areas. They are able to compete with their urban counterparts. We are also distributing Starlink kits to ensure that no place is left behind, to ensure that all the students, regardless of geographical location, are empowered and they would also be able to compete with their counterparts in urban areas. We are distributing textbooks to schools. We have introduced the heritage-based curriculum and we are printing new textbooks which we are distributing to our schools. All those are efforts to ensure equal access to every child. We also have safety nets at our disposal in the form of basic assistance, basic education assistance module, BEAM, where government provides funding to students from marginalized families so that they are not deprived, they are not left behind. All those are efforts we are putting in place to ensure that everyone has equal access to education. We don't mind whether a student is disabled. We have safety measures in place to ensure that we have taken everyone on board and everyone has the opportunity to access education, and that contributes to an improvement in the livelihoods of Zimbabwe's education is an enabler. It has a transformative impact in ensuring that there is economic development and economic growth in Zimbabwe. I submit.
Thank you.
Supplementary, Madam Speaker.
Supplementary, Honorable Pijo.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the Minister for that detailed answer. But I've got a supplementary question. Some of these emerging private schools, especially those in the urban areas, are being criticized for charging high fees without providing adequate learning resources compared to the traditional private institutions. What is the government doing to enforce its directives, which often conflict with the financial requirements of those private schools? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
I would like to thank Honorable Pijo for the supplementary question. As government, there are certain procedures that must be followed. Whether it is a private school or a government school, they need to write to the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education to seek permission to be allowed to increase school fees and levies. So if we have information or knowledge of certain private schools that increase school fees without following the law, I am sure Honorable Jove is prepared to give us the names of those schools, then we can take a corrective action to address the challenges. Thank you.
Supplementary.
Supplementary, Honorable Klatchwayo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my supplementary question to the Honorable Minister is that one of the reasons or one of the factors that is affecting quality education and access to quality education in our country.
Who are BIM beneficiaries are not disadvantaged at all. They still access education. I'm aware that some schools are owed some monies dating back to 2 years or so, but we are
have to develop the infrastructure, they have to buy books and all the necessary infrastructure that is needed to ensure quality education. So this is what I'm asking the Minister to respond to, which is why BIM payments are important to make sure that the quality of the education becomes a reality. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, ma'am, I want to inform the House that some schools in the first term of 2026 have received BIM funding, but it's not adequate, and the government will make an effort to make the payments to pay BIM funds. But I think the Minister of Finance may want to clarify that point, because they are in charge of the national cake. So with your indulgence, maybe you may allow the Honorable Minister of Finance to respond to the issue of BIM funding and as to when they are going to make that payment. Madam Speaker, ma'am.
Honorable Minister of Finance, would you want to add on?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Honourable Minister is correct in that when it comes to BIM financing, it is administered through the Ministry of Public Service and Social Welfare, paid by the Ministry of Finance. I think we have explained to the House before that there is a bit of a bureaucratic loop in that. I was under the impression that loop had been fixed and the BIM payments are up to date. But if they're not, then it means that there's something that is not working. Notwithstanding, the Minister of Secondary Education set up a committee, co-chaired by myself, Deputy Minister of Secondary and Primary Education and Public Service. This standing committee is supposed to keep track of any outstanding payments and issues to do with the three ministries combined. So I'll have to come back on that one, Madam Speaker.
Supplementary, Honorable Malinganiso.
Mbunzo wangu wekuwedzera woti chimwe chiri kusaka tinge tane ma illegal schools ataurwa na honorable vatanga kubvunza mubvunzo. Tikaenda kuminda mirefu nzendo dziri kufambwa nemwana achibva kuchikoro, achibva kumba kuti aende kuchikoro dzakati rebei, pamwe pacho dzinoraudzira makilomita 15 kana kuti 15. Hurumende ine urongwa hupi hwekuti nzvimbo dzakafanana neidzodzo dzinge dzine zvikoro zvakati wandei zvekuti vanhu vanoda kudzidza vanowana zvikoro pedo nepavanogara? Ndatenda.
Honorable Minister.
Ndoda kutenda mubato wechigaro ndichitenda Honorable Malinganiso nemubvunzo wavasimudza, asi mubvunzo wavo wakasiyana newabvunzwa na Honorable Zhou. Vava vachitaura kuti zvikoro zviri kusimuka, zvikoro zviri kuoperata pamutemo, asi kupindura Honorable Malinganiso hongu tinoziva kuti kune dzimwe nzvimbo dzekuti vana vanofamba mitunhu yakareba. Hurumende ine urongwa hwokuvaka zvikoro, gore negore tinovaka zvikoro zvinovakwa nehurumende nezvinovakwa nemaprivate iwayo nevamwe vanhu vakazvimirirawo vanovaka zvikoro zvavo. Saka tine kurudziro yekuti nzvimbo dziri kumaruwa kugone kuvakwa zvikoro zvehurumende. Saka izvozvo takamirira mari ya 2026 kuti ikabuda tochienda kunzvimbo idzo. Tinodziziva nzvimbo dzekuti vana vanofamba madistance akareba anopfuura 5 kilometers. Mari iyoyo ikauya tichaenda kumaprovinces ese tichigona kuvaka zvikoro 2 kana 3 paprovince kuitira kuti dambudziko iro ripere. Ndatenda.
Thank you. We've had enough supplementary questions. A new question, Honorable J. Chuma.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, according to chapter...
Order. Honorable members on my left, can you please have order in the House? May you allow him to ask his question? Honorable Chuma, you may proceed.
Madam Speaker, according to the Constitution of Zimbabwe, Chapter 1, the founding provisions of our Constitution...
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Order.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
What's your point of order?
Right. Last week, the Speaker ruled that anyone who's using the Speaker's panel cannot get into the arena. He's conflicted.
Thank you. Can you please just allow him to ask his question?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I was saying, according to Chapter 1 of the Constitution, Section 3, Subsection 1, we say Zimbabwe is founded on respect for the following values and principles. Then subsection I says recognition of and respect for the liberation struggle. So my question goes to the Minister of War Veterans, Madam Speaker, to say there was vetting that occurred in 2022 and 2024 of the veterans of the liberation struggle. But from that point in time, everything just went dead and quiet. So what is government policy on ensuring that our veterans of the liberation struggle are taken care of in terms of compensation and in terms of remuneration according to the vetting exercise that occurred at that time? I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Acting Leader of Government Business, Honorable Mona.
Thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker, ma'am. And let me also thank Honorable Chuma for that very important question. which indeed is very emotional when it comes to our war veterans. And he's right, vetting was done. And I want to thank again the Second Republic through the advent of the relevant ministry, which superintends over war veterans, to actually make sure that their concerns are also addressed accordingly. And I'm happy that the Honorable Minister, who superintends over war veterans, is aware of those that were vetted and is aware of the pending benefits that are due to those cadres. And because of that ministry, which also falls under the budgetary system of this August House, where resources are administered again to the relevant ministry, I'm sure all the concerns raised by Honorable Chuma will be addressed through that important ministry. Thank you, Honorable Madam Speaker.
Supplementary.
Supplementary, Honorable Chuma.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. May I kindly, through your chair, Madam Speaker, ask that probably can we have the Minister of War Veterans issuing a statement, a full-grown statement pertaining to this issue, so that it is addressed holistically, and we get to know where the hindrances are or where the glitches are, so that our veterans of the liberation struggle can get some relief. I thank you.
Admin, can you take note?
Supplementary.
There is no need for supplementary questions.
There is, Madam Chair, with due respect.
The minister has been asked to bring a ministerial statement, and I'm sure when she brings the ministerial statement, you can then ask for any points of clarity.
I'm not sure if that then stops us from asking supplementary questions. That is what a chair.
I thought maybe we can give the minister a chance to bring the ministerial statement and we'll proceed with the session. Thank you. New question, Honorable Tobayiwa.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. My question is directed to Minister of Finance. Given that Zimbabwe trades most of its gold in the Middle East, like Dubai, and currently there is war happening there, what policy measures has government put in place to secure other markets? Gold generates, as we know that gold generates the bulk of the country's foreign currency, and any disruptions to our markets in the Middle East will affect our economy. I so submit.
Honorable Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We have not received any red flags or concern from Fidelity Printers and Refineries, which is the sole agent that sells our gold, that would warrant any policy intervention. It is an issue that all agencies are consistently and constantly keeping an eye on. Right now, no measures have been found needed for our trade of gold. We still see a smooth flow. When that happens, I'm sure the agency, that's Fidelity, has other markets. Dubai is not the only trade of gold. As you'd know, gold is a commodity that right now is desired globally, worldwide. So I'm sure we would not face any challenges if this challenge continues. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Supplementary.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My follow-up question, Madam Speaker, relates to the issue to do with the Fidelity Refinery as the sole supplier or sole trader of gold in Zimbabwe, according to the Fidelity Refineries Act. My follow-up question, therefore, Mr. Speaker, is to say, does the government allow other private players to participate in the gold refinery in Zimbabwe according to the current Fidelity Refinery Act? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mazwanika. Now, do you realize I'm seated this side? So, tread carefully next time. I might just say you can leave the house. Honorable Minister, please, you may respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. The Minister of Finance is the one that reserves the right to give a license for refining. And that license was given solely to Fidelity to have a monopoly. And if any other players are to enter the market as a need to diversify, it will be through the Minister of Finance making sure that the state is still the main player in terms of consolidating all the gold in the country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you.
Supplementary.
How many supplementaries were there? Okay. Honorable Committee, I will indulge you. Yes, you may take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My supplementary question to the Honorable Minister is that the Honorable Minister has raised the fact that there are currently no red flags that have been given by Fidelity printers. So I wanted to find out whether government is positioning itself. Should there be any disturbances in terms of the international markets? Thank you.
Honorable Deputy Minister, would you like to indulge?
I would, Mr. Speaker, sir. Maybe I wasn't very clear in my first response. Gold as a commodity is facing demand globally, not just in the UAE, which is where traditionally we were exporting to. If there is need to reroute our bullion to other markets, there is huge demand for gold globally. So I do not believe that we will face any challenges with selling the gold that we produce as a country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Supplementary.
Are there not three already?
No, not yet.
Are you sure?
This is the third one. Yes.
Honorable Sacha, I hope you are not deceiving me.
No, I cannot deceive the chair.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much. My follow-up question to the Honorable Minister, at some point we heard that the government was entertaining thoughts of rejoining the London bullion market so that at least we maximize our earnings and also diversifying our markets. I wanted to find out where we are as a country in terms of rejoining the London bullion market in line with our thrust for re-engagement. Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would not have too much detail on where those engagements are. UAE as a destination was the one that was offering us, best value. But all alternatives are always opened. Where we can get the best price for our gold is where government will endeavor to make sure that we have the best relations and engagements. So when it comes to this trade of gold, all Fidelity is concerned about is making sure that we get the best price for our gold and that we give the best price to our miners. The arena of gold trading has vastened and widened so much that it extends beyond just the London bullion market. But if there are engagements that are going on and the LBM is offering good prices, I'm sure Fidelity is at the cusp of making sure that we get back and join the LBM. I thank you.
Thank you. New question, Honorable Mapiki.
Vada basambate vechigaro wangu mubvunzo unoenda kune gurukota rinoona nezve-home affairs kuti maringe nekuparwa kwemhosva kwakwira munyika, vanhu vachishandisa mabhemba uye nekushungurudzwa kwemadzimai nevana nevanhu vari kuputa zvinodhaka uye nekukwira kwaita mutengo wemabhazi kana kuti wematransport maererano nehondo iri kumiddle east, vanourongwa hupi hwokuti wopaiswe mapolice post kana mapolice base pokuita kuti vanhu vasafambe makilometers avari kufamba kunoripota mhosva semutemo wacho wakuezhisheni kuti munhu hafaniri kufamba 5 kilometers kunotsvaga dzidzo kana kuti hafaniri kufamba 4 kilometers kunotsvagwa kurapwa. Ivo sebandiko iri vanourongwa hupi hwokuti vaisewo mapolice post kana kuti mapolice base padhuze nepadhuze pokuti vanhu vakawanda vasashungurudzwe kuti vasawane rwendo rwakawanda rwavari kufamba vachinotsvaga rubatsiro vaita basa.
Vaita basa. Honorable Minister of Home Affairs.
Maita mubati wechigaro, ndoda kutenda Member of Parliament vamapiki nemubvunzo wavo wavabvunza. Chekutanga ndinoti aiwa zvino sehurumende zvinotirwadzawo zvakare kuparwa kuita mhosva munzvimbo dzakasiyana siyana. Ishuwiro yedu sehurumende kuti vanhu vakwanise kumhan'ara nenguva pfupi uye zviri nyore pavanenge vakanganisirwa. Sekutaura kwavaita tine program yakaitwa yeland reform iya yakaita kuti vanhu vapararire muminda vakava nekuwanika nekuumbwa kwemamwe atingati macommunities akawanda zvichireva kuti kwakuda kunzi kuiswa mapurisa kwese ikoko, asi zvinenge zvichida kuti tiwane rubatsiro nahonorable minister vagere apa vefinance ava. Tikawana rubatsiro irworwo dzinenge dziri shungu dzedu, asiwo pane zvimwe zvinotariswa. Hatigone kuisa police post kwese kune vanhu nekuti kunoparwa mhosva nyika yese. Tikatopa munhu egaga yake dai zvaibvira but hazvigoneke. Chinoitika mapurisa vanozotarisa kuti munzvimbo yega yega vanotarisa atingati mastatistics kuti uku kuri kuparwa mhosva dzakadini uye pane mufambo wakadini kusvika papolice station iri padyo. Zvikaonekwa zvakakodzera tinokumbira vemari, tokumbira zvakare tinotaura nevepublic service ndo vanoona nezvekupa vanhu mabasa vechipurisa kwatingati kuemploya. Tinofanira kuita tiwirirana navo ivavo kuti toda kunoita police post pakati chada mapurisa akati wandei. Tichitotaura kudaro mubati wechigaro titori nedambudziko rekuti tiri kutotsvaga vamwe vanojoina chipurisa kuti vadzidziswe basa rechipurisa nekuti tiri kurasikirwa nevanhu nguva nenguva. Saka tisati tombofunga zvokugadzira mamwe mapost iwo atoripo acho mapolice station iwayo vanhu varimo havana kukwana mapurisa nenyaya yemari nezvimwe zvakadaro zvinova zvinhu zvatiri kugadzirisa. Saka dzingave shungu dzedu dzekuti tiise mapolice post pese, asi zvikwanisiro zvinenge zvichinetsa uye zvine nhau yemastatistics inataura. Asiwozve tinoda kuti tifambirane nenguva. Chatakunyanya kutarisira kana chatakunyanya kuda kuedza kuita kushandisa teknoloji. Mazuva ano uchade kukwira bhazi kunomhan'ara makilomita 30 kuti ndabirwa penzura kana ndaitwa zvakati iko kune teknoloji. Saka zvatakuedza kuita chirongwa chatiinacho ndechekuisa mateknoloji kuona kuti masaisai awanika, nhare dziri kushanda kuitira kuti munhu zvinomuitira nyore kubata police station nyangwe iri kure zvakadini nemasaisai. Muchidimbu tiri kuti kune social media, kune mafoni, kune zvakati, ndo zvataada kuedza kukurudzira kushandisa. Iro basa takatorotanga mubati wechigaro, takatotanga kuisa kucomputerize, kuisa macomputers mapolice stations. Ndodaira kuti mapolice station ese muZimbabwe so far tadairika kuma 300 400 macomputers atadistributa muchikamu chidiki chapfuura. Tiri kuisa electronic gadgets akawanda kuitira kuti vanhu vakwanise kuripota pasina kufamba kana kukwira bhazi. Tinotenda.
Order. In terms of standing order 68, time for questions without notice has expired.
Point of order. Point of order, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable CHIGUMBU.
May we increase up to 20 minutes? We still have some burning questions we want the Honorable Minister to respond to. I move that we add extra 20 minutes.
Who seconds?
I second.
Is there an objection?
I second.
No objection. We're extending our time with 20 minutes. Supplementary Honorable Mapiki.
Ndoda kutenda nekupindura kwandaita na Honorable Minister. Ndangani mubvunzo wangu wokuwedzera unoti vangave vane urongwa hupi? Ndazwa vachitaura nenyaya yekuti kunogona kunge kwakaomerwa nanyaya dzokuwaka kuti vaita anonzi mapublic private partnership. Vangave vane urongwa hupi hwekuti vatiwo vanhu vari kuchera mumakambani anga achibatsirana navo kuti kuvakwewo zvinhu zvakafanana neizvozvo. Uye pane urongwa hwemaneighborhood watch committee. Vangave vane urongwa hupi hwekuti dambudziko ravataura remapurisa kuti ari kunetsa mashoma vange vachibatsiranawo neiwe neighborhood watch committee kuita kuti vanhu vabatsirike panyaya dzavashungurudzwa nemakoronyera basa.
Honorable Minister.
Mazvita mubato wechigaro ndotenda zvakare Honorable Mapiki. Honorable Mapiki vafunza kuti tingave tine urongwa hupi hwekuita matriple P arrangements ekushanda neprivate sector kuti tibatsira. Urongwa iwe watogara uriko nakare. Vakawanda vari kubatsira kuvaka mapolice post. Asi vasati vadaro pavanopedza kuvaka panozodiwa mapurisa, ndonyaya ndataura. Panotozodiwa mapurisa anoshanda ikoko anobhadharwa nehurumende. Ndo panozopinda vemari neve public service kuti tiwirirane kuti paita munhu anotibatsira kuvaka apa asi tichazodawo manpower ino ndo vanobhadhara, ndo vanovapa mari. So izvozvo hatigoni kuzviavoida. Then vataura nyaya yekuti yemaneighborhood yagara iripo zvakare. Tinotoikurudzira sehurumende semapurisa kuti munzvimbo dzatigere ngatironganei tizvipe tibatsire mapurisa kuprovide security. Maarrangements iwaya totovakurudzira uye ariko ende anotoitika. Tinotenda.
Supplementary.
Honorable Karenyi.
Mazvita mubati wechigaro. Mubvunzo wangu wekuwedzera Madam Speaker unoti pataurwa naMinister ndaona vadzokororazve nyaya yekuti tikavaka mapurisa acho kuti tizovaisa ipapo vanenge mashoma. Mubvunzo wangu woti senyika zvinoreva here kuti mapurisa pari zvino mashoma munyika yedu? Kana ari mashoma, zvii zviri kukonzeresa kuti pasawedzerwa mamwe mapurisa kuti zvikwanirane mumaringe nenharaunda dzatinobva? Nekuti zvikangodaro Madam Speaker zvaane kakuvhundutsa kuti nyika nekukura kwayo kana toshaya mapurisa munzvimbo dzatinobva zvorewei kuti nyika ishaye mapurisa? Mazvita.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Mazvita mubato wachigaro ndoda kutendera zvakare Honorable Member nemubvunzo wawo wekuwedzera. Hatina kuti mapurisa mashoma asi tinenge tine establishment yatinenge takatarisira. For example, munyika muno tinenge tichitarisa kuti tikawana 50,000 mapurisa zvinotifambira zvakanaka nepopulation yedu. Iko zvino 50,000 ndo establishment iri yatinayo inenge yakaongororwa po zvine maratios. Kana nyika dziri kunze vane maratios ekuti pamupurisa wega wega anofanira kunge achinge aine vanhu vakati. Inzira chete yengotsvaga kuti manhamba dzemapurisa angadiwa mangani. So far tine 42,000 thereabout, between 42 and 43,000. Ishuviro yedu tinge tine 50, but hazviri kuti vatinawo vashoma asi zvingatitira zvakanaka vakaita 50,000. Ivo 42,000 43,000 vatinawo. Ndinokaira kuti imba ino inobvumirana neni kuti basa ravo vanenge vari kurikwanisa, asi zvinogona kuita nani vakawanda kudarika ipapo. Zvinoitika kuti vaite vashoma chii? Vanhu vese vanowana vane zvikonzero zvakawanda zvekuchinja profession. Vamwe vanoresigna, vamwe vanoenda kunze kwenyika, vamwe vanodini, vamwe vanoretire, vamwe vanoita sei. Asi kuti titsive nhamba iyoyo hatigoni kuzvita tega as police tisina kutaura nevacho vanomabhadhara. Tinosika inonzi concurrence netreasury nepublic service. Public service ndo employer. Isi tinongotaura kuti tinoda mapurisa tasvoterwa ne5,000, but tiri kurikuruta mubati wechigaro mapurisa anorekurwa gore negore vachitrenwa. Saka tiri kutoshanda towards ensuring kuti tine nhamba iyoyo ye50,000. Gore negore tinorikuta 1,000 2,000 vachinotrenwa vachidzokera pabasa, but gore negorewo vamwe vanenge vachingoti kana kambani ipi neipi zvayo, hakuna kambani isina staff turnover. kana private company chaiyo vamwe vanopinda vachibuda zvinongoitika kuchipurisa todalisana nakwese kana kumanesi kana kupi zvinowanikwa asi chirongwa chekuvareplace tinacho vari kutotraina kutora kwandiri kuita ndofunga makaona mwedzi wapfuura uyo kune vaitograduata kubulawayo taiveko itraining iyoyo vanhu vari kutotsiva vari kupinda munzvimbo idzodzo dzakasiyiwa tinotenda.
Honorable Machangu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Ma'am. I'd like to thank you, the Minister of Home Affairs. My supplementary question is it a government policy to have a distance of close to 70 kilometers without a nearest police station or a police post? I thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Madam Speaker, ma'am, I am not aware of such a scenario, but if there's a particular instance where people have to travel 70 kilometers without even a police post in between or anything, we would want to investigate that. If they can put it in writing, I so submit.
Supplementary.
We have had 3 already.
No, the last one. This is the last one, Honorable Speaker.
No, we had 3, Honorable CHIGUMBU. The first one was by Honorable Mapiki, and Honorable Karenyi, and Honorable Machangu. New question, Honorable Kangausaro.
Honorable Speaker, point of order. We don't count the one that has been done by the originator.
It's a supplementary question.
Okay, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable CHIGUMBU. Honorable Kangausaro.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. Greetings from Urungwe. My question goes to the Honorable Minister of Lands, Agriculture, Fishery, Water, and Rural Development. Given Zimbabwe's progress towards achieving milk self-sufficiency, what concrete measures is government putting in place to support dairy farmers during the impending dry season, particularly in relation to the high cost of feed, water security, and animal health as to safeguard productivity gains and ensure the sustainability of the sector? I submit, Madam Speaker, ma'am.
Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Madam Speaker, can the Honourable Member repeat? I didn't quite get the question.
Honorable Kangausaro, can you please come again?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. I will repeat. Given the government's progress towards achieving milk self-sustenance, what concrete measures is the government putting in place to support dairy farmers during the pending dry season, particularly in relation to the high cost of feed, water security, and animal health, as to safeguard productivity gains and ensure the sustainability of the sector? So I submit again, Madam Speaker, ma'am.
Honorable Leader of Government Business.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the government has not had a specific program for dairy farmers like what we do with presidential inputs for the summer cropping season and the winter cropping season. But what the government has been doing is to create an enabling environment so that we grow our dairy herd. But if the Honourable Member has specific issues that he feels this coming winter season through to the dry season, they may affect dairy farmers, I'm sure he's welcome to write a written question or to ask the minister directly in his office so that he can explain fully, because the policy position really is to enable them to grow their herd without a specific package that is tailored to dairy farmers, so to speak. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. A new question, Honorable Jonga.
Maida basambatu chigaro. Tanga ndoda kutenda hurumende Second Republic nebasa guru ravari kuita munyika. Takaenda kumaruzevha kwatinobva, tinoona kuti hapana musha usina yatinoti cell phone kamumbozha runare kureva kuti technology yapambira nyika yese, asi dambudziko hero manje masaisai ari kunetsa kuwana, vanhu vari kutokwira mumakomo vachitsvaga masaisai. Mubvunzo wangu kuna minista wanoona nezvemasaisai unoti hurumende ine urongwa hupi kuona kuti nzvimbo imwe neimwe yawana masaisai atoti mabooster kuitira kuti masaisai ange achishanda kune vanhu vose munyika.
Honorable Minister of ICT.
Ngiyabonga Madam Speaker, mbonga njalo ohloniphekayo obuze umbuzo obalulekileyo. Umbuzo awubuzileyo ukhuluma ngokutholakala kwendlela zokufaka amagagasi endaweni zonke ezihlala abantu. Kodwa ke ngithanda ukuthi ngizinzise indlu le ecwelekileyo ngokuthi uhulumende uphakathi kokuba liqiniso lokuthi zonke indawo ezilabantu kutholakala amagagasi. Abanye abahloniphekayo abakulendlu bangangifakazela ukuthi sebelubonile utshintsho olunjalo lusenzakala ezindaweni lapha abahlezi kuzo, ikakhulu izindawo ezisemingceleni yelizwe lapho esiyabe singcelane lamanye amazwe akade besebenzisa amagagasi avela kwamanye amazwe eyiwo abawathembileyo. Kuphinda njalo kube lohlelo olwaphawulwa ngupresident umongameli welizwe leZimbabwe ubaba Emerson Mnangagwa, ngesilungu baluthi yi-National Broadband Phase 3, olwaba liqiniso lokuthi ama-base stations adlula 150 abakhona baphethwa lolu hlelo. Imali ye-Universal Service Fund eyiyo etholakala emgodleni wabe-Porters upha umlandu ukuthi lapho okuyabe kulama-base stations amathathu phosa amabili kube lokukhithwa elilodwa lihanjiswe lapho okuyabe kungela, njalo ngumlandu walesi sikhwama ukuthi wonke umuntu oyabe engafinyeleli ukuthola amagagasi awatholiswe, ngoba bona bahamba lapho okungadingeki ukuthi kulabantu abaningi okungakanani ngenxa yokuthi amankampani akhangelane lezamagagasi wona abekhangele inani labantu lemali. Ngizaphetha Madam Speaker ngithi uhulumende weZimbabwe uphakathi kwamanye amalutshwana aloba phansi avumelana ukusebenzisa i-Starlink okungamagagasi abuya ekhongozelwa, ancedise kakhulu ukuthi lezo ndawo eziyabe zingatholakali kalula ezilezintaba kumbe ezingela ama-base stations kube lokuba lula ukuthi basebenzise ulwazi lolu okwalezo zinsuku. Ngisitsho kanje, i-Ministry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services isibe leqiniso lokuthi abanengi bawathola ama-kits la awama-Starlink ngendlela ezehlukeneyo. Sisebenza lengatsha ezifanana lezokulima, ingatsha ezifanana lezemfundo, lengatsha ezifanana leze-home affairs. Ngiyabonga Madam Speaker, ma'am.
Thank you.
Supplementary.
Supplementary, Honorable Jonga.
Ndinotenda mubati wechigaro. Mubvunzo wandabvunza uyu wakatikoshera nokuti kwatinobva kumaruzevha uku vanenge vachitibvunza kuti kumasaisai akamira sei. Zvino pabva paita manje communication breakdown, ini ndiri mukore handinzwi kana chindevere, saka ndinoti ndingabatsirika sei kuti tinzwanani pakutaura, nokuti mubvunzo wandabvunza uyu ndo wakakosha. Panapa handina kana ma-hearing aids kuti ndibatsirike. Ndatenda.
Okay, can you please provide Honorable Jonga with headphones? Then maybe I would request the minister to come up again with his response.
But on a point of order, Madam Speaker, on a point of order.
What's your point of order?
Madam Speaker, are you, if I go by your ruling, are you advising this House that in terms of translation we don't have sufficient translation sets for each and every member? Because every member here, including the minister, has got a right to speak in his or her language. So we should have access to that, not to have Honorable Jonga. We need, this is Parliament, everyone wants to hear what the minister is saying, what Honorable Jonga is saying. Honorable Jonga spoke in Shona. Those that don't understand Shona needs to hear what he was saying. Everybody needs to be involved in Parliament. Don't we have sufficient guardians in this House?
Thank you, Honorable Mushoriwa. We have sufficient gadgets, but honorable members should request for them. Unfortunately, Honorable Jongwa had not requested. That's why I have asked the Honorable Minister to come again in his response. Honorable Minister.
How come we can speak shorter?
Honorable Minister, you can come again.
On a point of order, Madam Chair. Point of order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am.
On a point of order, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Minister, what's your point of order, Honorable Matswanika?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the standing rules and orders allows every honorable member to respond using a language of their own choice. That is why we're going to Hansard. Hansard provides an English version of the response. We can't hold Parliament at ransom while it's about issue of languages.
Honorable Matswanika, not Minister vasataura nechirudzi. Tati ngavadzokore kuitira kuti ava vanzwewo mhinduro vakuenda kunodzosera back ku-constituents. Honorable Matswanika, for the sake of time, may you allow the Minister to respond? Honorable Minister, you may go ahead.
Point of order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. I would like to thank the honorable member for a very pertinent question.
But the minister should actually speak in the language that he spoke.
Yes. Point of order.
We don't want him to speak in English. Let him speak in the language.
Order.
So then read the Zimbabwean Constitution.
Order.
He's speaking now in English.
Order, Honorable Mshoriwa. The extension time has expired. Now we are moving on to questions with notice.
Point of privilege. Point of privilege.
What's your point of privilege?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there is a very important question that we have not dealt with as this House, and I think it's very important for us to raise it. About 3 weeks ago, there was a request for a ministerial statement from the Minister of Energy.
Order.
On the issue of fuel.
Order, Honorable Kachwayo. Time for questions with notices.
No. You are missing the point. This is a point of privilege. If you can allow me to speak, then you can then give your ruling.
Unfortunately, time for questions with notices.
It's not a question. You are missing the point, Chairperson. I am saying there was a request for a ministerial statement, and the ministerial statement has not been brought to the House 3 weeks after it was requested. And we have also seen increases in terms of
Honorable Kachwayo.
But why is it not allowing me to speak?
You have requested for a ministerial statement, and the minister responsible is going to bring the statement to the House.
You have to listen to what I'm saying first before you give your ruling.
Can you please allow us to proceed? Question.
This is very important.
Question number 1, Honorable Manzala.
What is this policy?
Question number 1.
Point of order. Point of order, Madam Speaker. I have a point of order.
Order, Honorable
Madam Speaker.
Yes, Government Chief.
This is not a place where we can do things jack and jack. The Speaker has ruled And we cannot go back to that. We have questions that must be answered here. Ministers are here, they must answer those questions. If the honorable member wants to raise the issue of omission, she should have done that in the beginning, or she will do that tomorrow. But we have ministers here, one minister to answer questions.
Thank you, Government Chief Whip. Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. I would like to respond to the question raised by Honorable Kumanzala to ask the Minister of Health and Child Care to inform the House on the following. The question is in two parts. A, whether there are any plans to rehabilitate Binga District Hospital to make it suitable for a nursing school as earlier announced by the government. B, whether there are any concrete plans to permanently resolve the challenge faced by Binga District, particularly regarding the mortuary, which has not been fully operational for a long time. I wish to thank the Honourable Member for the pertinent question regarding Binga District Hospital. On Part A, which states the rehabilitation of Binga District Hospital for a nursing school, in line with the government policy to strengthen human resources for health and to progressively double the health workforce by 2030, the Ministry of Health and Child Care has plans to establish a nursing school at Binga District Hospital. The proposed nursing school project is currently at the planning stage. Preliminary assessments have been undertaken at the Ministry is considering the necessary rehabilitation of and upgrading works to ensure that the hospital infrastructure meets the standards required for training. Training purposes, once a planning process including resource mobilization and approvals are finalized, implementation timelines will be communicated. During my first visit to Binga District Hospital on 11 March 2026, I was shown the land where the School of Nursing will be constructed. Binga Rural District Council has offered a guest house to accommodate students, and the Public Service Commission will provide transport for students to and from the hospital so that training can start in January 2027. The Part B, the Ministry is fully aware of the infrastructure challenges at the Binga District Hospital, particularly the long-standing issues affecting the mortuary. The Ministry of Health and Child Care is currently spearheading a program to replace and refurbish critical service infrastructure and equipment in district hospitals, including mortuary, laundry, kitchen, and incinerator facilities. A similar intervention has been successfully implemented at Mapisa District Hospital, where mortuary, laundry, kitchen, and incinerators systems were rehabilitated and modernized. Binga District Hospital has been identified as one of the immediate targets under this program. The Ministry is therefore prioritizing resource mobilization and technical assessments to ensure that the mortuary and other essential support services are fully rehabilitated and restored to optimal functionality. I so submit, Madam Speaker.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary.
Twalumbaka pati maji azwa kuliba minister. Mubuzi wangu tobela ngokamba kuti alimwa kuzuzikizya kuti Minister valizi baspika kuti kuzutantwala lilela mu 1980 kawenderezea First Republic ndilotwa wa mu Second Republic muzezo oyu temu pyape so awa ndaluganda kumva kuti wa minister ma concrete steps via kutegwa ninzilo kochiru kuchitwa mazuba kainda Vaspika va mdenda pakati ko kupinga road kupinga district hospital alimwi vakazwa mu social media kabalukambula atala abuime bachibhadhela chabhinga district hospital kabalukamba kuti mibhedha yakazakala imanda mingi akazakala ifurniture yababeresi akazakala so awa nintamonzi zirukukweze kwa ministry ikutegwa chibhadhela chipinga district hospital iwoneke kuti nchonzyo ngabulaba busena bungabula trainelwa imanes nakana kuintroduce a school of nursing to Alumba.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. It's unfortunately the interpretation was not coming out, so I don't know if you can indulge me, maybe the honorable member can repeat what I'm looking for a system which is working well for interpretation.
Or Minister, try to connect on channel 4.
It's on channel 4, but it's repeating the same language.
Honorable Kumanzala, may you come again?
Baba Speaker. Baba Speaker, ndali kubuzya ukuthi kuli ba minister kuzantokalela mu 1980. Fulumendo wakusangu na. Nje bathi fulumendo wakusangu na.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. It's not working.
Oh.
Order. May you allow me to move on to question 3 while the issue is being addressed, and we'll come back. Question 3, Honorable Bajila.
The question 3, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Minister of Information.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. The question from Honorable Bajila was to ascertain the total revenue collected from motor vehicle license fees during the period January to June 2025 and explain how this has impacted on access of information in Zimbabwe. The total revenue collected from motor vehicle radio licenses fees during the period is 13.6 million United States dollars, of which 20% was in United States dollars and 80% in local currency converted at interbank rates. Revenue from ZBC radio fees boost public radio access by expanding terrestrial infrastructure through transmedia and advancing Zim Digital Phase 2 for superior signal reach. Funds also support bars, community stations, and Ziftesa's provincial content hubs. This state income stream fills past revenue shortfalls caused by law compliances. The funding enables richer programming, including local content production, and 10 new film hubs that have been targeted and which are currently being established. It supports training and quality upgrades, shifting from basic broadcasts to captivating shows. Officials emphasize prioritizing Zimbabwean stories over imported content. Fees are essential for procurement of equipment like HD cameras, transmitters, and editing tools for crisp visuals and audio. Mobile units improve live coverage of key events such as state events or disasters. Infrastructure growth leverages 97% mobile penetration for broader rural access. I submit, Madam Speaker, ma'am.
A supplementary.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable Bachelor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The Minister's response basically explains what these funds are for. And we all know that because it is included in the Act. The question that I was asking, and which I'm still asking, is, you collected 13.6 million. What did you do with it? Because the Minister's explanation is simply to say, this is what this money is for. We appreciate that point. The question is, what did you do with the 13.6 million that has been collected during the said period? I thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. Madam Speaker, ma'am, in the response, or from the question was to indicate the impact that has been achieved in terms of giving access to information in Zimbabwe. That was the original question, and he never indicated that he wanted an outline of the exact projects that were done using the 13.6 million. The question was to do with the impact. And what I've just indicated, Madam Speaker, ma'am, unless the questioner now wants a detailed outline of how the 13.6 million was spent. But Madam Speaker, ma'am, this was a period which he just singled out. And the collections continue to happen, and the projects are continuous. I may, if I go back, bring the projects that were done using the funds that were collected during the period that you have just singled out. But like I indicated, Madam Speaker, ma'am, these collections are just continuous, and we continue to notice or to realize some impact from the funds that are being collected in terms of new transmitters that are being installed, and also the transition that is happening. A good example is a Montrose studio that has been upgraded from the the old ways of sending the signals to the digital signals that have just been achieved. So there are a lot of projects, Madam Speaker, ma'am. Another example is, as we speak, we have in Mapisa, where the independence celebrations will be held. There has been a transmitter which was established, and the coverage is 80-kilometer radius. It's just one of the examples that for which the money is being used. But there are many projects that are being realized from the funds that are being collected, Madam Speaker, ma'am. I thank you.
Supplementary. Honorable
Kapoikilu, sometimes they call me Honorable Sachs.
You may go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. My supplementary question is, ZBC has collected over 13 million, but why is it still using analog systems? Yesterday I was driving from Bulawayo to Harare. I tried to listen to ZBC. I could hardly get any connectivity. But motorists are still paying. It is compulsory to pay for radio licenses. How come we still have such a scenario after collecting so much money? I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. Madam Speaker, ma'am, we have
177 radio transmitters that are located around this country, and the transition that is happening from analog to digital transmission is continuous, and the 13.6 million that I've just referred to is not enough to complete all the 177 radio transmitters. Apart from radio transmitters, Madam Speaker, ma'am, we are also refurbishing or transforming the television transmitters. Again, we have 36 television transmitters which are being worked on from analog to digital transmission, and also for the provision of the set-top boxes. So to say 13.6 million was collected and it doesn't seem to have shown its usefulness, that is not correct, Madam Speaker, ma'am, but maybe in terms of where the honorable member was yesterday when he tried to switch on to the radio, if the reception is not good, obviously that should have been the case, but it is our intention that all the areas, as we speak, Madam Speaker, ma'am, our radio reception is at 81% throughout the whole country, and we don't doubt that there are some pockets which still have a poor reception, but as we get to the end of 2026, the plan is to get to 85% of the coverage of the whole country, and as we get to 2030, we promise that we will have covered 100% of the whole country through the funds that are being collected as radio license fees. I thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. On a point of privilege.
Honorable.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Nanchikumbira kuti kana chicha with your indulgence, Madam Chair. Kuti question ya Honorable Bajila iramberi pa order paper. Kuti minister vawe vachizotsetsenura shondoloya kuti mari 13.6 yakaanza kushanda zvipine zvinobatsira kuti vanhu vabhadhare vakasununguka tenda, Madam Chair.
Minister vanga vatozvitaura pamhinduro yavo kuti vachaenda vonodzoka nemaprojects ese akaitwa. Okay. We have had enough supplementary questions. Question number 4, Honorable Madzivanyika.
Madam Speaker, there are only two supplementary questions that have been raised. One from Honorable Bajila and the second from Honorable Madzivanyika, and the third.
On the session, only allowed two.
According to which rule?
Okay, you may proceed.
Thank you very much. Marochigaro, ndada kuvunza kuti pamari yakakolektwa mumaresidence anenge achibhadharwa nevachikairi vedzimotikari nevemabhizimisi nevemudzimba, tingadawo kuziva kuti sezvo mari iyi ichibhadharwa nemunhu wose womunyika unobva nzvimbo dzakasiyana, aya atinoti macommunity radio, maredhiyo edu ekumusha kwatinobvawo, anombowanawo here chikamu pamari iri kuuya iyi kana kuti yose inopfurirwa musaga neZBC? Ndatenda.
Honorable Minister.
Mazvita mubati wechigaro, mari inotorwa neZBC yemalicense inopatsanurwa 10% inoenda kuBAZ, Broadcasting Authority of Zimbabwe, 20% yoenda kuTransmedia vane basa rekuisa matransmitters. Pa 10% inotorwa neBAZ ndo panobva mari inogadziriswa macommunity radio stations, equipment inoiswa kudzidziswa kwevanhu nekusapotwa kwevanhu, nekuda kwekuti macommunity radio stations anotarisirwa kuti haaitirwe kuti vanhu vave nepundutso kana kuti kuitirwa kuti vanhu vave neprofit, asi ndezvekuti zvibatsire community. Saka kupindura mubvunzo wabvunzwa ishokwadi, mari iyoyo inobatsira kana kwabvunzwa na honorable member kuine community radio station nechekare
ndo vatori mabeneficiaries emari iyoyo iri kutorwa pakubhadharwa kwemitero. Madam Speaker, question yanga yabvunzwa paorder paper nemabvunzirwa yakaitwa yapindurwa, asi kuti tipe a statement. I can give a statement, but isisatauri pamusoro pe 13.6 million nekuda kwekuti ivo honorable member vangotora chidimbu chavakangotarisira, asi handigone kutaura kuti mari iyi ndo yakasenza kubva apa kusvika apa, asi tinenge takungotarisa kwechikamu chakati kure masenzeserwa ari kuitwa mari nemawanikirwa airi kuitwa, nekuda kwekuti tingotarisa period yavataura ivo zvinogona kuva zvinhu zvidiki zvakaachivhwa pamari iyoyo, asi isu seministry taita zvinhu zvakawandisa kubudikidzira nemari, uye mari yatorwa kubva kumitero haisingori iyoyi chete yavataura nezvayo, yakatowanda. Saka ndiri kuti maringe nekweseni yanga yabvunzwa nemabvunzirwa yakaitwa yanga iri kutaura nezveimpact, kweseni yapindurwa, asi kana vachida statement, that's a new request yatinozounza mazviti.
Question for Honorable Madzivanyika.
Question for Madam Chair.
Honorable Minister of Information.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. The question was to inform the House on the government plans to reduce the radio license fees amid public outcry over the matter. Madam Speaker, ma'am, the response is His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, directed government to expedite the elimination of excessive regulations and punitive administration costs imposed by ministries and government agencies. As a result, Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, ZBC, under the government directive, significantly reduced the radio and television license fees via a statutory instrument 203A of 2025, which took effect from the 15th of January 2026. This reform responds to public complaints about high prior fees, such as United States $100 for household television licenses, aiming to boost compliance and ease of doing business costs. New rates payable in local currency at market rates includes household TV, which used to be $100, it was reduced to $24. Urban radio, it used to be $10, reduced to $5. Business sound, $50. Business television, $100. Vehicle sound or television, United States dollars, $30 per term. Our listening government will continue to review fees in line with ease of doing business mantra, which has been adopted. I submit, Madam Speaker, ma'am.
Thank you. Supplementary, Honorable Madzivanyika.
Atenda skulu, atenda kupota famisa kwa mashoko. Nemindiro ya rapa. Supplementary ya Madam Chair yokuti ma residence emota. Noise acho yamba yashinyanya Madam Chair kusha point kuti achazo uri kwatinobva kuma constituency uku. Vana vachingofuna Honorable matikuti ni ya radio, matikuti ni ya radio. Ameno kuti ne government trusts ye ease of doing business reform yakaitwa itakaona SI41 yakadzikisa zvimwe kuna council and so forth nozvigamu chaizvozvo ende vari kufanana vari paizvozvo. Supplementary yangu yachiti Honorable Minister, mune urongwa here ukuona kuti radio license yemota iyi yadzikiswa kuti vanhu vedu vakwanise kubhadhara nyika yedu yokubudirira kawanda. Ndatenda.
Honorable Minister.
Tinotenda mazvita mubato wechigaro, ndichitenda Honorable Madzivanyika sezvandataura kuti muenzaniso wavapa wakanaka. Vatopa statutory instrument yakaratidza kuti hurumende inotungamirirwa navaMnangagwa inoteerera zvinenge zvachemwa nevanhu, uye ini ndikapawo zvakare mumwe muenzaniso westatutory instrument yakaitwa yakaratidza kuti pane zvimwe zvakachemwa nevanhu zvakagadziriswa. Asi zvisinei, pavataura tapanzwa, tinoramba tichizvigarira pasi tichizoona kuti ndezvipi zvingada kuti zviitwe, asi panguva imwe chete ndichida kuti ndizivise imba ino kuti patichauya neministerial statement na vatungamiriri vari muno kusanganisira nevanhu vanotungamirirwa chishuwo chedu chatiinacho chekuti kunzvimbo dzatisiri kuona zvakanaka, dzatisiri kuwana masaisai, tinofanirwa kunge tichimawana, redhiyo ichinzwika, tv ichionekwa, kuitira kuti vanhu varambe vari connected, vanhu varambe vaine ruzivo rwezvinhu zvinenge zvichiitika. Zvese izvozvo kuti zviitike zvinenge zvichida mari, kuti mari iyoyo ivepo. Program yatambotaura inonzi yeZim Digital, Madam Speaker mem, yakatangwa mugore ra2015, asi program iyoyo phase 1 haina kure kwayakaenda nekuda kwekuti yaishayiwa mari. Saka nzira dzekuti vanhu vari kukwanisa kuwana masaisai vabhadhare haisi nyaya yekuti vanhu vaomeserwe, asi nyaya yekuti vanhu vangabatsirwa chirudzii. Kana mari ichinge yavapo, vanhu vokwanisa kupuhwa masaisai. Tarisiro yedu ndeyekuti vanhu vemuZimbabwe kuti tizadzise masoko ekuti living no one and no place behind. Chekutanga vanhu vanoda kunge vari connected, vanhu vanoda kunge vari informed, vanhu vanoda kunge vari educated, vachikwanisa kuwana masaisai. Saka ndo tarisiro yedu yatiinayo, asi ndanzwa zvataurwa naHonorable Madzivanyika, kana tichinge tazoramba tichizvitarisa sekutariswa kwazvakamboitwa kare nestatutory instrument yandataura nezvayo, kana paine zvimwe zvinokwanisa kuitwa zvinoramba zvichiitwa nekuda kwekuti hurumende yava Mnangagwa inoteerera zvinenge zvataurwa nevanhu mazvita.
Thank you.
Supplementary.
Supplementary, Honorable Shiredenga.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. We have SI 264 of 2021, which exempted those that are above the age of 65 from paying radio and TV licenses for home use. Honorable Minister, is there a possibility that this very same exemption can be extended to those above the age of 65 that own vehicles? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. I take this as a request, Madam Speaker, ma'am, given that the statutory instrument that is being referred to does not cover what the Honorable Minister is referring to. If it's a new request, we'll look into it, and if there is some good reasoning to it, we can always consider what the Honorable Member is proposing. I thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am.
Thank you. Allow me to defer question 5 to 7. Question 8, Honorable Hlachwa Yusi.
Next question, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister of Information, Communication Technology.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, ma'am. Madam Speaker, may you kindly allow me to start by congratulating one Zimbabwean who was re-elected to the position of Secretary General for the Pan-African Postal Union, Dr. Chief Sifundo Moyo. It means a lot for the country. He was elected last week at Kampala in Uganda. I would like to respond to a question by Honorable Hlachwa. The government remains committed to achieving universal access to affordable and reliable communication services across Zimbabwe, including underserved and unserved remote areas such as Chipinge South. Through the Universal Service Fund, which is administered by POTRAZ, the Postal and Telecommunications Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe, government is actively supporting the deployment of telecommunications infrastructure in areas that are not commercially viable for private operators. In this regard, several initiatives are underway. One, base stations deployment, where the government, in partnership with mobile network operators, is rolling out additional base stations in rural and marginalized areas, including parts of Chipinge South. Number 2, infrastructure sharing, where operators are being encouraged to share infrastructure to reduce costs and accelerate network expansion. Number 3, rural connectivity projects. Targeted projects under the USF are prioritizing areas such as Manjire, Maduku, Mabiza, Lisungwe, and Chombe. Alternative technologies. Number 4, recognizing the challenges of terrain and costs in remote areas, government is promoting complementary technologies, which includes the rollout of satellite broadband services such as Starlink to provide high speed and low latency in internet connectivity in some places hard to reach. And lastly, the government is also encouraging the use of solar-powered and hybrid base stations to ensure network availability in areas affected by electricity shortages. These interventions are expected to significantly improve network coverage and service quality in the mentioned areas over time. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
Supplementary.
You may go ahead, Honorable Kachwai.
Mwashuma ubatu wachigaro. Mwashuma Minister ngempindure mapa. Nikangoti nda yemashoko inda yakati koshei kuti vantu vaone kuti access to mashoko. Dambudziko ratiri kunyanya kuita ngerekuti ndau dzatareketa idzi dziri kumabhodha neMozambique, ende vantu variyo vanobata network yekuMozambique zvakanakisa. Yedu yemunomu yedini haibati. Mungane zviga zvamareketa izvi zvingane mazuva ere kuti aiwa vantu varikaita sevana vari kumabhodha kwana Chombe kwatareketa network ichange yaayo mazuva akati kuti tazwa zvamareketa zvekuti mune program yamunayo inga ine mazuva ere kuti aiwa gore nerichipera tinenge tapedza program iyoyo vantu vakubata network yemuzi mavo haikona network yekuMozambique.
Honorable Minister.
Ndoboka kwazvo chalebwana Honorable Hlachwayo. Vanoleva chinhu chakatungamidziwa mberi kwazvo kwazvo nemutungamiri weHango Tate President Idi Mnangagwa. Kwavakati pandlandu wekuti seMinistry of ICT, Postal and Courier Services tive neleveswa lekuti mitunhu yose ikumabhodha eHango eZimbabwe iwane bakwa mumafoni zvakanaka. Kusikwa tabetiwa vanhu vebhata mafoni edzimwe Hango kokanga vachibhata ke network yamuno muZimbabwe. Vunjinji gwema honorable members vayapo mungumba iyi ndoziva kuti vangabvumirana nami kuti mitunhu minjinji yachiwana mabooster anosvika pamitunhu yavagere kwazvo kwazvo kumabhodha. Pamwe ndingayelesedza nemuvudza kuti kumitunhu inonga voChipinge nekumitunhu inonga voNyanga nekumitunhu inonga bhodha yeZimbabwe neSouth Africa kuchikwalakwala panobatsanya Chiredzi neBedbridge kuna pakasiwa ikweni. Kuna kakale kumwe mitunhu kunavo Mlambapele kuGwanda, kuna imwe mitunhu kunavo Mpowens kuMangwe. Chichilakidzilo chekuti iprogram inondila mbeli itiwa kuti ipalalile Hango yose kose nekuChipinge South kwamunoleva isvike. Ndingakomwa zvangu leva kuti luvaka kungasiwa lini kokandomugadza honorable member through you Madam Speaker kuti tokulingisisa ikoko kuti mitunhu inonga kuChipinge semaborder areas vo tisvikeko. Hakuna mitunhu ikumabhodha inosala. Chipinge semitunhu kubhodha vo imukativo ipapo. Ndoboka.
Thank you.
Supplementary.
Supplementary, Honorable Mtsami.
Mwashuma Honorable Speaker. Supplementary yangu ndoda kuti wedzere zvareketwa ndi Honorable Hlachwayo ngendaa yevanhu vari kubhodha iyo. Munoona kuti vanhu vari kubhodha iyo vanototenga airtime vachitoisa mabhandle ekuMozambique, ndau dzakadai sana Zamchiya, Hakwata, Muumbe, Maria Rimai. ngendaa yekuti mabhandle ekuMozambique vanoshandisa akachipa zvakanyanya kudarika emuZimbabwe munomu. Saka mweya wavo unoona zvakareruka kuti vatenge mabhandle ekuMozambique vechishandisa malaini ekuMozambique paWhatsApp nezvakadaro. Ngedzipi njira dzemuri kuita, Honorable Minister, kuti muite kuti zvemunomu zvine chekuita nemabhandle zvireruke, vantu vadakarire kushandisa mabhandle emuZimbabwe pane kutenga ePortuguese?
Ndoko vakazwazvo Honorable Mtsame Buzwa vetovela mbuzo wabva kuna Honorable Hlachwayo. Honorable Hlachwayo vabuzwa veleva kuti akutobata network kumitunhu yekuChipinge. Honorable Mtsame vekati vanhu vanotenga yekuMozambique nekuti yakachipa. Ndisingazive kuti kobva kuti network yapo koga inodhura kene kobva kuti network hakuna. Kusineni zvako ndingahandula nditi chipa nedhura kobva pa competition ndizvo ke government hurumende yemuZimbabwe upakati wenhingo nkulunkulu kwazvo weleti dzimwe zila dzakasiyana dzekuti tisitongova vanhu vanotovela one company kene mobile network operator. Tive vanoziva kuti kuhekwa dzedzimbiri dziyapo imwe yekutatu ngaivepo. Ndizvo kwakauya ruzivo rwemahuva kunoi low earth orbit satellite system inota kuti vamwe vanove vedhurigwa nawo kuya vawane huku. Koga kusineni zvako gungano lePostal and Telecommunications Regulatory Authority of Zimbabwe lihinga pampangompela nezvadziwa lo Ministry of ICT tipewe kwegalisana tizuisana kuti titeledze mitengo kwazvo yezila yebhata napamafoni. Ndizvo ke mungabvumirana nami kuti kwakakuli mitengo ipehugwi inodhura kupinda ipapa patave yapo. Government yeZimbabwe inohinga nemasimba kuti tipe tikhwelela tinda titeledza zviyanana takalinga milayo inobvuma kuti kugutse vanhu vose vemuZimbabwe nekuti ruzivo rwebhatana pamafoni uku akuchidha kwenu kwave chinhu chakafanira kuti mumwe nomwe achisvikile nekuti ndigogwa vekuchilo kwemahuva muchikuwa vanoti it's a need, it's a right. Ndoboka.
Order. In terms of standing order 68, time for questions with notice has expired. I recognize Honorable Minister, Deputy Minister of Finance, to give his motion.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to give notice in the name of the Minister of Finance, Economic Development and Investment Promotion that today, whereas Section 327, subsection 2A of the Constitution of Zimbabwe provides that any convention, treaty, or agreement acceded to, concluded, or executed by or under the authority of the President with one or more foreign states or governments or international organizations shall be subject to approval by Parliament. And whereas the Fund for Export Development in Africa, the FEDA, established agreements entered into force on 1 September 2021.
Order. Honorable members, on my left, may you please lower your voices. Honorable Minister, you may proceed.
Can you test him out?
Honorable Minister, you may go ahead.
Right. And whereas the Fund for Export Development in Africa, the FEDA, establishment agreement entered into force on 1 September 2021, having been signed and ratified by 2 Afreximbank member states in terms of paragraph 2, items 1 and 2 of Article 20, and whereas the Republic of Zimbabwe did not sign the FEDA establishment agreement, and whereas the Republic of Zimbabwe, having considered the charters of FEDA Holdco, FEDA Investment Management, and FEDA Capital annexed to the FEDA establishment agreement, accepted and acceded to the Fed Establishment Agreement by depositing an instrument of accession dated 10 February 2023. And whereas in accordance with paragraph 4 of Article 20 of the Fed Establishment Agreement, shall take effect for each contracting party on the date of deposit of its instrument of ratification, acceptance, approval, or accession in accordance with its constitutional or other applicable statutory procedures. Now, therefore, in terms of Section 327, subsection 2A of the Constitution of Zimbabwe, this House resolves that the Fed Establishment Agreement be and is hereby approved for accession. I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I recognize the Cabinet Chief Whip.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I move that orders 1 to 29 be stood over until order number 30 has been disposed with. I thank you.
Confirm, you said order 30. 30. Okay. The clerk will read the 30th order of the day.
Consideration, Zimbabwe School Examination Council Amendment Bill, HB 48, 2025.
The whole House will have under consideration the amendments proposed by the Minister of Primary and Secondary Education. I put clauses 4, 5, 9, and 11. Is there any debate? Is there an objection? No objection agreed to. The bill is amended, is adopted. What day for third reading?
The leave of the House now, Madam Speaker. I move that the bill be read the third time, Madam Speaker.
The question before the House, the motion by the Honorable Minister of Primary and Secondary Education that the Zimbabwe School Examination Council Amendment Bill, HB 4A of 2025, be now read a third time. Is there any debate? I put the question that the Zimbabwe School Examination Council Amendment Bill, HB 4A 2025, be now read a third time. Those who are of that opinion will say aye. Those of the contrary opinion will say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is accordingly affirmed, and the clerk will read the bill a third time.
Zimbabwe School Examination Council Amendment Bill, HB 4A 2025.
The clerk will read the 31st order of the day.
Consideration, Tourism Bill, SB 7A 2025.
The whole House will have under consideration the amendments proposed by the Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry. I put clauses 6, 13, 14, 16, 17, 20, 28, 31, 37, 38, 40, 42, and 43. Is there any debate? Is there any objection? No objection agreed to. The bill is amended, is adopted. What day for third reading?
The leave of the House now, Madam Speaker.
The question before the House is a motion by the Honorable Minister of Tourism and Hospitality Industry that the Tourism Bill HB 7A of 2025 be now read a third time. Is there any debate? I put the question that the Tourism Bill HB 7A of 2025 be now read a third time. Those who are of that opinion will say aye. Those of the contrary opinion will say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The question is accordingly affirmed, and the clerk will read the bill a third time.
Tourism Bill, SB 7A 2025.
Mr. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House do now adjourn.
It has been moved that the House do now adjourn. Is there any debate? I put the question that the House do not adjourn. Those who have that opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. The question is accordingly affirmed and the House is adjourned to what day?
Tomorrow, Madam Speaker. Ma'am.
The House is adjourned to tomorrow.